The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then
boom, with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All possible respect. None of it is an insult. You walk in and you're in like the 70s or 80s, and I'm not necessarily talking decor. To call the decor eclectic is you walk in and there's like God, how do I even describe it? Like a life-size, not a statue, like a, I don't even know how to describe it. There's like a dude standing there with like holding a sign that's like, welcome to cricket or something. And it's like a Frankenstein looking thing, but not scary, just like weird and like a witch. But that's not the decor. That just happens to be there. And then there's a choo-choo train that has tracks around the ceiling kind of that you can look up. That's always going around. It is the epitome of the old school, stuck in time local diner with dudes in the back, girls in the back, on their flat top grill, and it's biscuits and gravy and the cricket country scramble, and it just smells of breakfast all day. Very, very good prices as well. Waitresses that call you hun and sweetheart and all that. And I honestly, like, it's a bit of a trek from here now. I just can't believe we never.
No.
Wow.
And you're going there today.
Yeah, I'm going to meet a friend today and have and after the show, and that's Katie.
Nice.
And that was either when we did the show together usually on Friday, we go to like a brunch or something, and it was either Laboo if we were in a hurry for the Thai chicken soup and the baguette, extra dill sauce, or we'd go to cricket maybe once every couple months. And now I feel like after a show, you, me, and Chris, who's on vacation today, Anthony's back there. Hello, Anthony. We go to cricket for brunch. It is on the way to my house.
Oh.
And then we go watch Maverick.
Oh, there you go.
And then there's a day.
That's a day.
How was your weekend?
It was good. Now I'm trying to picture, where did you say cricket was?
Okay, so it's by the station, where like you get on Auburn and kind of go up towards past I'm just going to show you on a
movie
map.
Theater?
Yeah, but it's past was the movie theater on Greenback, or am I thinking of
it?
It
might be.
Yeah, the old Cinedomes. No, not that far. It's just it's parked in the middle of, I don't know. People been there, they're going to know. It's hard to miss.
Apparently I have.
Yeah, apparently you have. Here's the I wish they
is this Google Maps?
Yeah, I don't know if that makes sense to you or not, where it's at. Good morning, everybody. Welcome in. It's Carmichael Dave, Jason Ross. Anthony is in for a vacationing Christopher Verlaud, who will be back at some point in the future, somewhere, somehow, and we appreciate that. It is a Monday. We have a Monday show for you, of course. The mayor new mayor, Kevin McCarty, is going to come on as we Friday, today, tomorrow. We'll see, like, it's just like on Auburn, but not around anything. And it's got a little tiny sign that says Cricket Country Kitchen, and that's it. There you go. I don't know how else to say it. If people been there, they've been there. So good weekend overall.
Yeah. How about you? I mean, you had the big graduation on Friday.
Man, it was the graduation was cool. I did better than I thought. I actually teared up more before the ceremony than during, because it turns out there were some things that the girls in my family hid from me. Number one, so as the program began, there's like not like a pregame show, but there's the bands like playing their little music. People are gathering around, and then the official program began with I'll get it wrong. If somebody was there and knows what they're talking about, they're going to say you're getting it wrong, Dave. But it was like a little drummer boy, couple of people playing instruments, and my daughter up there singing. Just singing
By herself?
Wow. Singing. And
is that a Creed song?
Yes. It was Take Me Higher by Creed.
Nice.
Then she broke into, weird enough, I don't know if this is appropriate, but she broke into I'm Bad by LL Cool J.
Made sense.
I didn't really necessarily think that was appropriate for a graduation. This is going to be terrible, but let me see here if I can find something. Here we go. Hold on. There's my girl. Now, what am I doing while this is
getting misty?
Yeah. So I'm already like, oh God, okay, thanks guys. So I'm just sitting there, and then she gets done singing, or finishes whatever, the interlude of the song, and then she reaches over and grabs her trumpet, does the trumpet solo, and then puts it down. I mean, she's like, she's gonna be one of those like Bob Dylan or whatever, who wears the harmonica around his neck and has all the. So that starts, and then the graduation. By the way, I didn't realize until I got there, because I hadn't thought about it. It's the first graduation of any kind I've ever been to. I've never been to a graduation ceremony my entire life.
Really?
Ever. Yeah. I was thinking about it. I was like, wow. I didn't. And then I've just never gone. I've never been to one. So there's a program, and then she and her little friend got up, and they were like the class historians. So they take you through like the highlights of every year of the class of 2025. Then they turn the tassel, throw everything up in the air, and I'm literally Papa Razzi, up there, to the side, staying out of everybody's way, filming. That was my job, was to film. And I think that the fact that I was so intent on getting the stuff we needed to get on film, it helped me like concentrate, to where I wasn't, like occasionally be like a little tear, little tear. And then, I'd pretend like I was itching my cheek.
Pro move.
But I do have a shout out, because we had pretty decent seats on the right side, towards the middle. It was myself, obviously my family, my dad, mom couldn't make it. My mother-in-law, my sister, and her husband flew up. So, we got a little row. And then just as it's about to start, there was like two people in the row in front of us, and they were sitting about 4 chairs apart, and they were saving seats for their family, which is totally fine. And then I saw it in slow motion. Think about, like when you're on a plane and you have the open seat next to you, and there's one person left coming on, and you're just like, please, no. Let me have that. And then I see this person walking down the aisle and then take a right into the row in front of us. And I'm going, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Sitting right in front of me. Look, people are welcome to wear whatever they want when they attend a graduation, right?
Yeah.
Whatever they want. Just a shout out. Ladies or gentlemen, but in this case, lady, you might want to avoid wearing a cowboy hat. That was my view. I'm showing Jason a picture right now. My view of my daughter's graduation was this absolute moron in front of me with a giant. No, I honestly.
What a moron.
Absolute main character moron sitting right in front of me with this cowboy hat on. She just plunks down. Boom. View gone. Now, I'm not publicly confrontational. I'm not that guy. I will go to great lengths.
You'd rather talk about them on a radio
That's
show.
correct.
Yeah.
Than actually make us. And I see the videos. I don't want the worst thing in the world would be my little girl's graduation, and I'm in some sort of thing, right? So I'm just stewing, and my wife's like, just say something or move. No. And plus, my sister was next to me. Now, my sister would murder me if I said anything. But as the graduation ceremony is continuing, the entire row is having a running dialogue conversation the whole time. And what really set me off, and again, famous last words here, not trying to get political. National anthem happens. They're just still, yep. Kids singing the national, yep. And it's like, look, dude, do whatever you want. Like, I understand, but at least shut up during the national anthem. Do what you want, but just shut up. Just for us. You do it, but national anthem. Sits back down and just blah, 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 running dialogue the whole time. And the problem is that she's turning to her left to talk to the people, and then turning to her right. And so I'm I'm looking through this window, like in Legend of Bagger Vance Through the Trees. I'm looking through this window between like her hat and the person next to her, so I can see the stage. But then the problem is somebody says something, then she turns. And at one point, I looked at my wife, and I had my right foot kind of cocked back because I just wanted to boot the back of her chair. And it got so close to me, and I knew what was going to happen. If I stayed there, it was going to eventually get to the point, because this is different. This isn't like missing a concert or this or that. This is a one-time ever thing. It's different. I could suffer in silence at pretty much any other thing but this. And I knew as I could just feel my temper losing. And I knew that what would happen is that eventually I would just explode on them and say something completely terrible when I didn't even give them. For all I know, I could have said, "Excuse me, would you mind taking, or could you keep it down? And they would be like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about it." Because sometimes people are unaware. They could have been the nicest people. I don't know, because I didn't want to even approach it. So I knew it was going to manifest itself into some sort of inappropriate whatever. So finally I went to the bathroom, and then there was this place down the left side where I saw like a couple of stray dads just moving around with their phones. So recording. So
you were in the Stray Dad Club?
Yeah, I joined the Stray Dad Club, and I just looked back and I don't know, just everybody does things. Everybody has times, Lord knows I have, where like I don't realize I'm being rude, even though I try to always in public make it a priority. But I'm sure there's been times where I've worn the wrong hat, or I've whistled. I don't know. I'm sure everybody. I try to have empathy. Like if somebody's kid is acting up, I used to absolutely like, dude, control your kid. Then I grew up and I was like, you know what? I don't know what their challenge is. They may have a kid that has challenge. There may be all kinds of stories. Just relax. It's always about, you're not the main character. Other people have lives. I really do try to operate by that rule in public. But this was just, look, you're at a graduation. Maybe you're bored until your kid comes up. Maybe it's your nephew or niece, and I don't know, whatever it is, but just please realize that there's people around you that this is their whole world. They've been waiting for this. This is a huge moment, and you and your stupid ass cowboy hat, and you're anyway.
It's always good to be socially aware, and a lot of people, I think, are not.
No, they're not. And let me just say, there's another part of this story that involves this group of people that I'm not going to talk about on the air because it'll get twisted and stupid, but I'll tell you during the break. It just Anyways, that being said, graduation happens. As she was kind of walking back down after the hat and the, getting her diploma and all that, and I saw her and we hugged, and I got her on film. And then it was, so this was the day we go outside for pictures. Mason's also in the band, so he had to pack up his band stuff and come outside. So we're all gathering for photos and this and that, whatever. And then boom, I'm off to Ansel Hoffman Park for my dad's Easter Seals golf tournament, by the way, which shout out Carmichael Rotary, everybody that was involved in that, raising a ton of money. And three things happened that had never happened before. Remember, I grew up next to Ansel Hoffman. I think I was 6 or 7 when they first gave me a golf cart to deliver drinks to people and get their drink tickets and bring the tips back. And at the end of the day, I get like $5. Like, I did that from the time I was 6 or 7 to the time I was like 17. Just that was me volunteering, right? And so a lot of these people, some of them have passed, but there's still a handful of people playing in this tournament I would see that are definitely a little bit older than they used to be, but that literally used to babysit me. Like, it's almost, it's a very much a family thing. I ended up playing with, I played in a friend's foursome who couldn't be there. So his business partner's dad, and then his business partner's dad's best friend, all played. So it's 2 guys, I think one of them's in their 70s. I think they're both in their 70s. And me and this other guy are about the same. And it was the perfect scramble because these guys hit it about 200, 220 straight as an arrow every single time. Whereas the big whackers over here, if we get a hold of one, we get a hold of one. But if we miss, we miss, right? Yeah. Well, we're doing our thing, whatever. Jason, we go 8 under our last 7 holes to finish out the tournament, right? I've never been a part of it. Like, we were all on fire because we were 3 under the whole time. We finished at 11 under. I had to take off to go right as soon as we're done. I couldn't stay for anything afterwards. So I take off to go meet I had to take a shower, and then we had dinner. So I get I'm playing over at Timber Creek yesterday with my wife and the other couple we try to play once a week. And all of a sudden, one of the marshals is driving up to us, and my buddy had just got busted because he was wearing like a collared shirt, but like the kind I'm wearing, not a golf shirt. And it was hot, so he took it off, and he had like a sleeveless shirt on. He just gotten busted because you can't wear muscle shirts at a freaking golf course. And then he was mad about it, and I was like, dude, I don't know, maybe try to wear a golf shirt. Anyways, so this marshal comes up. Well, it turns out, and he's waving something, like he's like waving a piece of paper. So he rolls up, and as he gets closer, I realize it's the dad of the guy I was playing with. He's one of the marshals out there. And the thing he's waving is an envelope, and he says, "Here you go." And I open it up. It's a $50 bill. It was my share.
Nice.
We tied for first, but they go by front 9 as the tiebreaker, and they got us by like 2 strokes.
Yeah. So
I've never experienced this at any of these. I don't know how many of these scramble tournaments I've played in, but in our business, you play in a bunch, right? Sure. I've never finished in any sort of prize, whatever. And yeah. Long drive guy. Yep.
You won that?
Closest to the pin guy.
Wow.
Yes, it was that day. Now, to be fair, I'm a below average golfer, but to be fair, what they did was they limited there were 18 foursomes in the field. They limited it. Usually you're on hole 7 and you're group 7B, right, or in some cases 7C. There was 1 group per hole. So the field was limited. That's and remember, there's a lot of, there's some older gentlemen that are here, but still, right? But that's still, awesome. That was so cool. So I got a couple sleeves of balls there too. And, so we did that. That was awesome. Yeah, $50. So Easter Seals is going to get a $50 donation. I'm not taking that. That's sweet. So they're awesome. Going to get I'll double that. Send that to them. It's a great cause. And then that's about it. Went to Korean barbecue to celebrate.
Meat sweats,
dude. Let me tell you something. And I know we got to do leading off here. If you do Korean barbecue, you get your money's worth, man. Meanwhile, my dad's over. He'd never been there, so my daughter's taking him through everything, and he found that they have octopus, these tiny baby octopus that you just throw on the grill, and he's just pounding octopus. I think he had like 8 little baby octopi.
Wow.
You know, go back, presents, gifts, all that. And I'll say this lastly. Everybody had a card. Everybody wrote a card, and then the present. And then my wife and I were last because we gave her kind of her big present. And we had a shared card. Melissa wrote a big old thing, and then I wrote a little thing. Yeah, daughter started crying at one of the cards. This guy. I got her. That was kind of the unofficial contest who could get Avery to choke up, because weirdly enough, she doesn't really. Yeah. I called her my alpha and my omega, and I think that got her, probably because she doesn't understand what that means. But anyways, thank you. It went really well. That is my story. It was a once-in-a-lifetime event. I couldn't be more proud. And then she got sick the next day and missed her senior trip to Disneyland. So today, hopefully, she'll exit the room for the first time. Yeah, it's cool. It's $500 down the drain, but no big deal.
Get used to that.
So anyways, yes, congratulations to my daughter. Yes, I'm a proud dad. Thank you for putting up with all that. Let's get to the show right now. Leading off right now.
Let's do it.
Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
The Oklahoma City Thunder clapped back at the Pacers after receiving a massive gut punch. A game in which they led throughout until there were 3/10 of a second to play in game 1 on a Haliburton rainbow jumper, losing 111-110. They show that rebounding prowess, unbeaten following losses. That remains intact as the Thunder win game 2 big, 123-107 over the Indiana Pacers.
Aye. All right. Rob Perez, Worldwide Wob, is a big Twitter basketball influencer / personality, and he said something on Twitter yesterday, and I'm not ready to agree with him yet, but I hear him. He says it smells like the 2001 finals in here right now. And if you don't remember, that was the Lakers wearing, you actually brought it up as a matter of fact a week ago. The Lakers were huge favorites over the Sixers. And the Sixers won game 1 in LA, and the Lakers went on to sweep them the rest of the way. I'm not ready to say that. I think it's a coin flip. In my opinion, it's a coin flip if Indiana gets another game. But do you remember Floyd Mayweather?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously.
Yeah.
I've used this analogy before for other things, but the Thunder remind me a little bit of Mayweather. If in Mayweather's fights, you would inevitably, in the first 4 or 5 rounds, you would get excited because whoever was fighting Floyd Mayweather really looked pretty good, and we could have a fight here. And what Floyd did is he fought in a sense where he was trying to get the opponent to kind of show him everything, and was very not aggressive. And then he would download in his brain their fight plan and then completely shut them out the rest of the way. Now, way too early to tell. But I got that feeling yesterday. OKC just had an answer for everything, for absolutely everything. They were just a better team on every level. And even though in the back of your head, you're thinking, okay, well, when's it? All right, it's going to happen. Here come the Pacers at some point. I think they went on a 7-0 run at one point in the second half. And then the Thunder just snuffed it out. But that being said, if you ask the Pacers, you want to take 1-1 on the way back to Indiana? They just said, abso-flippin'-lutely.
Yeah, I think if obviously the Pacers want to win the series, but if they're going to win the series, I think the important thing is to stay ahead of the series. So they were ahead 1-0. It's 1-1 there. I would still say they're ahead at the moment because they got the split. That kind of I think they have to win both 3 and 4.
The Pacers? I couldn't agree with you more.
To win the series.
I couldn't agree with you more.
I don't think they're going to do that, I think that would be their roadmap to me. Because, I mean, even if it's 2-2, they get another one, game 3 or game 4. I think, a lot of people think OKC is the better team. That's not like earth shattering. I thought at moments during yesterday, even at the beginning, I'm like, all right, maybe the Pacers are in a little bit more of this fight. And then as it just kind of went on, you're like, yeah, I don't see a lot of roadmaps for them.
They had more lead changes, I think, in the first minute than they had in game 1.
Right.
Yeah. Nope, you're right. It was now. We got to go.
Yeah.
But now we got ourselves game 3 is going to be incredibly interesting.
Absolutely.
Every bone in my body thinks OKC is going to go in there and snatch back home court advantage right away. But I have learned to no guarantees with this Pacer team. So hopefully we get some entertainment out of that. Look, we got a lot to break down from this series, and also the developing story we hit on yesterday, the understory to these whole NBA finals. That's quite entertaining. We got a lot of stuff that happened over the weekend. Mayor Kevin McCarty is going to come on at 8 a.m. And with the U.S. Open this weekend, we kind of got a surprise for our listeners, something that came together yesterday that's pretty cool if you're a golf fan. In the meantime, baseball happened over the weekend. Weirdly enough, more wins than losses for the Northern California teams. We'll get to Safer Out next.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
When you're young, life is full of choices. Don't let opioids like highly addictive and deadly fentanyl take away your life with just one wrong pill. Addiction is a disease that can affect anyone at any age. But there is a choice to get help for this disease. Find medically proven treatment options, including virtual, at ChooseMat.org.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Keeping your engines healthy means protecting them in season and out. Experts trust Stable to do that. And third-party testing confirms it. Stable is the industry leader in preventing fuel-related issues, no matter if you use it in your car, boat, or outdoor power equipment. In season or out, at every fill-up or when you store, start with Stable.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6580. That's 800-583-6580.
Trey Songz, live. All the hits, all in one night. Trey Songz. Friday, June 20th, the venue at Thunder Valley. With special guest, Jeremiah. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com and see the show. Trey Songz, Friday, June 20th, the venue at Thunder Valley.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip, if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Why'd I go to the doctor? My heart would race just taking my son to practice. It didn't feel right. So I got checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
Safe or out? It's time to go around baseball. 3 pitches, 3 swings.
It's safe or out on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, safer out coming up. There is a chance that Carmichael Dave got locked out. There's a chance. He forgot his key today. But I opened the door for him. I propped the door open. Give him props. So we'll see how he's doing over there. Any sign of him yet, Anthony?
I think I hear him. Yep, he's coming.
There he is. I thought there was a chance he got stuck.
Go. Sorry, I was talking to Pat, Blank, and Cody. By the way, shout out Tom Maley, who I talked to last week. So remember our old friend Jennifer Wood?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she posted on Facebook that she went out, got a guide, and caught this beautiful king salmon, right? And she posted a picture, gorgeous king salmon. And the guide she went out with was Tom, and they caught it at Folsom Lake. And look, I like to fish when I fish, but I'm not a fisher guy.
Mm-hmm.
I fish Folsom Lake with my dad all the time when I was a kid. I didn't know there was king salmon in Folsom Lake. I thought that was like a ocean fish, and then it goes up in the rivers. I didn't know there was king salmon in Folsom freaking. I thought it was like trout and stuff. So, anyways, shout out to them, and you know what, guys? Shout out to king salmons.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there a queen salmon? I don't know. If there isn't,
there's a Tim salmon and a John salmon.
Salmon. Remember when who was it? Max Crosby on that one Raiders pronounced it salmon. Do you remember?
Right.
Do you remember what I'm talking about? Tim Salmon. What was the other one?
John Salmons.
Salmons. Salmon Davis Jr.
Well done.
Thank you. Safer out. Question 1.
Question 1. The Giants swept the Braves and now head to Colorado. Is this the hot streak they've been looking for?
It's not like they're going nuts offensively, but it's a nice sweep of the Braves. Nice sweep of the Braves who are not doing great. And here you go with your offense, guys. 6-3, 5-3-4. They're still doing, 6 is nice, but they're still obviously doing it with pitching. Logan Webb had another phenomenal outing. He just doesn't walk people, maybe won a game. And now they're going to Colorado. So it's like, dude, if you can sweep the Braves, if you can split a 4-gamer with the Padres, you can sweep the Rockies.
Yeah.
So just do it.
Yeah, and it was Saturday where Chapman hit the walk-off.
Yes.
They looked like that was going to be a loss down to their last out. But he hits a walk-off. So those games kind of rejuvenate you. They win again yesterday. So here we go.
By the way, Tim Matt Chapman up. He was hit late in the game yesterday, and then slide back in. I think it was first on a pickoff play. Kind of jammed his hand. They had X-rays are negative, so he's day to day. But thank goodness, no, doesn't seem like any lasting.
And the Dodgers play the Giants. The Padres. So
good.
Maybe they beat each other up a little bit.
Yeah, just both of them lose.
Yeah,
somehow. Yeah. Number 2.
Paul Skeens has a 1.12 ERA over his last 7 starts with only 1 win to show for it. How long will he be with the Pirates?
I don't know in terms of,
they could get Giannis or Luka.
Seriously, like Paul Skeens is such a stud. He is such a stud. Like you look at that guy and he's in his second year and you go, okay, well, barring injury or, off field, whatever, he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Fame pitcher. He's just that good. And I almost wish Skeens was in a different era, where, because it really, in some ways it's actually cool because it stands out more in this era of openers and giant bullpens.
Yeah.
He's just a throwback old school. You're getting 7 innings at minimum of quality starts, and he's going to throw the occasional CGSO up there. I just don't, based on the past and based on the Pirates, I can't see him being there more than maybe another year. At some point, they're going to get an absolute haul from your Yankees or the Dodgers or the Braves, Cubs, Phillies, whoever. He's going to go to a team. And by the way, it sucks the way. Normally, I'd be like, that sucks, stay in the small market. But it's just the crappy way baseball is set up. I don't want Skeens wasting away in Pittsburgh, just like I hate that Mike Trout wasted away with the Angels. Go somewhere where you can win 20 games every year if you deserve it and get some offense behind you.
And people see you and get a chance to see you in the postseason when that's when most of the recognition comes. This is, I don't know if it's the exact same thing, but Garrett Cole was a stud with the Pirates.
Yes.
Goes to the Astros. Now he's a Yankee. Like, it just feels like this is a blueprint we've seen. He's the next one in line. He's gifted. People will want him. Every team will want him.
Yes.
So which is going to offer the Pirates the best deal? So, yeah, it doesn't feel like it's long-term at all.
He hasn't given up more than 1 earned run since May 6th, when he gave up 2. He has one start this year, Jason, on April 8th against St. Louis, where he went 6 innings and gave up 5 earned. Now think about this. Dude's ERA is 1.88. Just take that out, and you're in the low ones. He's just a perennial Cy Young guy, and part of the problem is that the way the Cy voting works is they put this stupid emphasis, less than they used to, but way too much emphasis on wins. Take away that. Take wins out of the category, and he's a perennial top 2 guy. I think you said it best. Somewhere we can see him.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know, maybe fix everything so that teams like the Pirates can actually keep talent. O'Neal Cruz is another guy they have that is just an insane talent. Top 2 craziest, fastest exit velocity home runs of all time. And the guy up until last year was a shortstop. He's 6'7".
Yeah.
And I'll bet you 90% of casual baseball fans don't know who the hell O'Neal Cruz is. So, anyways, question 3, please.
Carlos Correa and others have been complaining about the batter's box and mound at Sutter Health Park. Is it sour grapes or a real thing?
I think it's both. Like, of course, there's a little bit of sour grapes, and it doesn't it doesn't help when you're losing. But look, these are things that are starting to kind of leak out a little bit, where pitchers are saying that they are having trouble with the mound. Carlos Correa said he elected to sit out the final 2 games of that series because he was getting soreness in the middle of his back after 2 days of slipping and sliding, quote, in a rock-hard batter's box. Now, look, I get that he might be a whiny pants.
Yeah.
I do. But, you're seeing, who was it? Who's our guy in the outfield that we love? Super fast for the A's. We've had him on before. Super quick, dives everywhere. Why am I tripping on his name?
I don't know if Lawrence Butler.
Butler.
Yeah.
You saw him kind of tumble into home plate over the weekend. We've seen a few of those. But several noted, according to The Athletic, multiple minor league issues happening with the playing surface. Correa said, quote, "It's the worst box I've ever stepped in. I like the park. The ball travels very well. The facilities are good. They did it right. The plate's the only problem. I'm not going to sacrifice 2 months of my season because of a couple of at-bats." Interestingly enough, it was almost all compliments from him. But we've heard a lot about the disconnected clubhouses, how it prevents these guys sometimes from going in and getting treatment in the clubhouse. And Luis Severino, generally, when he's with the Yankees, would like to go back to the clubhouse between innings to watch film and move around. They can't do that. Look, we talked about the A's home and road record. Luis Severino has a 0.87 ERA at home. He has a 6.99 ERA on the road. That, I don't think that's a coincidence necessarily. Now, some players do better than others. Zach Wheeler, though, also had an issue with the mound, saying he couldn't dig into the rubber with his foot because of the hard clay used, so he was using all arm. You heard some stuff from Joe Ryan with the Twins as well. I don't know, Jason. I mean, part of me wants to say, you know what, deal with it, guys.
Right.
But on the other hand,
yeah, if they can address it. Address it.
I
don't know. They've played a lot of games there now, and
yeah,
it seems like a small amount of people, but maybe there's more brewing underneath. I don't know, but it does seem like a little bit of sour grapes too.
I think come July and August is going to be the real test when you've got a number of games now, both teams, River Cats and A's, everything going there. It'll be an interesting test. We'll take a break. When we come back, before we get to 3 for Madness at 7 a.m. and our first breakdowns coming, our true breakdowns of the Thunder series with the Pacers. Some other stuff happened over the weekend, including if you missed the tennis match, and probably most of you did, my goodness gracious. And the U.S. Open just got a lot more interesting for us here locally this week, and we'll talk about that next.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis, put the frosting on the cake, put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sacktown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, looking for something positive in the midst of a dismal stretch for the A's, center fielder Denzel Clark, finishing his second weekend in the big leagues and playing in his hometown of Toronto, went 4 for 9 with a home run in the last 3 games of the series, and also made a sensational Spider-Man leaping catch over the wall in center field, robbing Alejandro Kirk of a home run. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Skeeter here. Got a question. What's small and dark with white bands on its legs and bites during the day?
Mosquitoes. Hi, I'm Luz Maria Robles, but these are 2 new types of day-biting mosquitoes. They're invading our area and becoming a big problem.
And they can be dangerous.
But we're on it, so when you see them, report it at fightthebite.net. In the meantime, use insect repellent and drain stagnant water around your yard.
We're here to help with these day-biting mosquitoes.
Visit us at fightthebite.net.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
The hot weather is coming. Is your HVAC system ready for it? Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating make sure it is. Get to Lee'sAirPlumbingandHeating.com. Check out their $99 HVAC tune-up special. And let me tell you why Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating is the way to go. They took care of me when our heater collapsed over the winter, and Lee set us up with a great new HVAC system that is providing comfort, value, and quality. Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating take care of you. License number 635355.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Summer's almost here, and so are popsicles, pool days, and a lot of smiling. Make sure your kiddo's smile is ready with a visit to Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. Our expert team makes dental visits easy and fun with sensory-friendly hours for kids who need a calmer environment. We can also accommodate same-day treatments, and to save you time, if your child needs multiple treatments, we can often do them all at once. Appointments fill up fast, so don't wait. Beat the summer rush and schedule online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, where healthy, happy smiles begin.
Only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, 3 for Madness coming up in our next segment. Lots of things going on from the weekend to acknowledge. Certainly, we'll get into more of the NBA Finals, which are now even at 1 apiece after OKC took care of business yesterday. We talked about before Game 1 how they were pretty significant favorites. Actually, they were even larger favorites after losing the first game. But that's what they've done. Every time they have lost in the playoffs, they've bounced back. And I said it earlier, I think it'll be important for Indiana's fate if they're ultimately going to come out triumphant to probably win the next 2. But we'll get into that a little bit later.
A little bit later. Also, the mayor's going to join us at 8.
Mm-hmm.
I'm having a key issue, which I just solved. I got to get, I of all the disorganization I have in my life, I always manage to keep my key. I can't find it. You ever do the thing where you go through all your back pockets?
Mm-hmm.
You probably don't. You probably have everything. You know.
I've lost it before, I guess.
Do you carry a wallet?
Yes.
See, I don't. That's part of my problem. I don't like this.
But I wouldn't have the key. I have it on this little lanyard thing.
You never put it in the...
Put it in my backpack every day.
Different car, different left. Yeah, you just... Backpack.
Because I'd always...
That's not a bad idea. I used to bring
a backpack every day.
I just have
and then you had pens. And chargers and stuff. But now you don't bring one.
Too many. Maybe I need to get back to the backpack.
Yeah.
I need to get back to the backpack.
So then if you always have that, if the key is always in there,
you don't have the problem. Now I got to go get a new key, which I've never done, but I know the engineers are just going, oh, you need a new key, huh? There's always going to be that.
That's what you solved?
Huh? Yeah.
I
borrowed Anthony's key.
Oh.
So he was nice enough to loan me his key. But I know the engineers are going to give me a look, especially Jason.
Yeah.
Or as I like to refer to him, the other Jason.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna get it from him. Okay. Over the weekend, a lot of different sports happened. One thing, my friend Tom Morton, your friend too, over at Hagen Oaks, who does such wonderful work charitably, runs a great course over there. Also, it gives me the occasional lessons, which I usually don't want to share for his sake if anybody ever sees me golf. So I was visiting my mom yesterday, and he calls me and says, "Hey, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm visiting my mom. What are you doing? Are you preparing mentally for all the meltdowns this weekend at the U.S. Open? Have you seen the videos of the rough at Oakmont? If you haven't seen them, there's one of like Bryson DeChambeau dropping a ball from like chest high, just dropping it. And then the camera pans down. You can't see the ball. Mm-hmm. It's that deep. And then this morning, players are on the course for the first time today. So the video is now coming out. I forget who the player was, but ball is in that rough. And he's got his 60. Sorry, everybody who doesn't play golf. He's got his 60-degree wedge out, takes a full cut at it, and it's about 40 yards into the fairway. Like, great shot, but there's going to be carnage this week.
Yeah.
And the U.S. Open that's what they try to do. Tom says, well, funny you say that because I'm hopping on a plane tomorrow to go. I went, really? Why? Well, that's cool. One of his students, Zach Polo from Arizona, he's from here, but attends the University of Arizona, qualified for the U.S. Open.
That's awesome.
And asked Tom, who is one of his teachers, asked Tom to caddy for him. So Tom, who played himself in the Reno Tahoe tournament a few years back, which was fun to watch, Tom's going to be caddying for this. I say kid with all respect, but geez, he's going in as an amateur to play. So time permitting, Tom's going to join us at some point tomorrow. They're playing and walking the course today. So we have our own little correspondent out there. And then I have a rule. We don't have a rule, but we generally don't mess with golfers if we haven't. Like Cameron Champs from here. Actually, Cam Champ had a top 10 finish at the Canadian Open yesterday, too. So congratulations to him and his dad, Jeff, who runs Foothill Golf Course, and they're very active in the golf community. Great showing for him. Zach is going in as an amateur, but hopefully after it's all said and done, and again, hopefully that's Monday and not Saturday. Hopefully we can talk to him just to get the idea.
Yeah.
And then what I asked him, Jason, excuse me, getting choked up. I asked Tom if at some point what I would love if Zach, I don't remember if I ran this with you yesterday when we talked on the phone. So I have an idea. If Zach has the time at some point when he's home, I think it would be a blast for you and me and Zach and Tom Morton to play Hagen. And here's what I want to do though. I have two ideas. You tell me your preference. Number one, you and I play as a scramble against the two of them individually and just see how we do. But the one I really like, but also is incredibly scary sounding, I think we should go play with them from the tips, score it exactly as we would score it, and just see how ridiculously far behind we are from somebody who's not even on the tour. He's younger than us. He's still in college. But I was thinking about this yesterday. Let's say you and I both go out. You have not a bad, not a good, just it's not the best you've ever played. It's not the worst. You have an average Jason Ross day from the back tees at Hagen Oaks. I'm going to put the over-under at 35 strokes that we finish behind Zach, who qualified for the U.S. Open. Do you think we finish more or less if that was the bet?
Less. Close, though.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm taking more, but not
35.
30. So,
what do you think he's shooting?
So, the way I'm thinking is, if he scored a 72, then that means we would have to get a 107 to hit the number. He'll probably shoot somewhere, I'm thinking, high 60s, which means we'd have to shoot a little. I
just don't know the difference of the tips. That's a really high score for you and I.
It is. It is. I generally, I would shoot if I was hitting from the regular tees we hit. I'm probably somewhere in the high 80s, low 90s,
right.
Probably low 90s. But I mean score like everything.
Yeah.
You hit one out of bounds and you hit it 5 times in the sand. I actually think that would be an interesting exercise.
It would be close.
And yes. And I also, I don't think a single part of me, I'm sure I get frustrated with a couple of my shots, but also it's not like I'm expecting to beat the guy.
Oh yeah. No, you'd be chasing the number of 35 as opposed to, you're not trying to, because I know I'm not.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not even a mystery.
And that's why they have indexes and stuff, which I don't know what the hell mine is, but I honestly, because he's probably a +6, +5.
Yeah.
And you and I are probably somewhere between, I'm just ranging 17 and 24, probably. So you're getting over a stroke a hole. I don't know. Anyways, that was, hey, golf talk, everybody. Enjoy the game of golf. So also over the weekend, speaking of sports that some people are in and some people are not into, The French Open, Roland Garros. Congratulations to Coco Gauff.
Mm-hmm.
She won the women's finals, which is fantastic. Good for us. And then Jannik Sinner from Italy and Carlos Alcaraz, the heir apparent to the all-time great French Open champion Rafael Nadal.
Mm-hmm.
Number 1 Sinner, number 2 Alcaraz. And we were playing golf and I had it on the phone and I was just keeping an eye on it. And then all of a sudden I'm glued. I am glued to it. There's something about a good tennis match.
Yeah.
And I've watched probably 2 hours of tennis in the last year. I'm not tennis guy, but back in the days of, Sampras and Agassi and Michael Chang and all that,
Sure.
Steffi Graf, that to me was like the golden age of my lifetime of tennis. This felt like that, man. It was just back and forth, back and forth. There is no way Alcaraz should have won this.
Three match points.
He was down 40-love, 3 match points, and down 2 sets to 1, and clawed his way back and ends up winning in a tiebreaker.
And dominates the tiebreaker.
Dominated the tiebreaker. And beat the number 1 player in the world. Just an insanely entertaining French Open.
It's such a different mentality than just about any other sport. It's individual.
Yes.
5+ hours. You don't have anybody that can challenge. I mean, call a timeout, regroup, get yourself
out.
Yeah, get your mind right. It's just you got to battle through all of that stuff.
Yeah, the mental aspect is just and golf, boxing, tennis. There's something about those individual sports, UFC, that type of thing that is super, super awesome. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, 3 for Madness. There's a Don Nelson sighting for the first time in 7 years. ESPN makes a very cool announcement of a program you're going to want to check out, Kings fans, and we'll kind of build off of that as well. 3 for Madness next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Ugh, I gotta get business cards printed for my entire staff, but where do I even?
That was easy.
Oh, okay, Staples. But can I have bigger stuff printed too, like huge signs and banners?
That was easy.
Nice. And what if I had to ship a package?
That was easy.
Have my passport photo taken?
That was easy.
Coffee and snacks?
That was easy.
What about the latest laptops?
That was
Earbuds
easy.
and headphones?
That was
Office
easy.
chairs?
That was easy.
I think I also need to get some Staples.
Seriously?
I had to ask.
For everything your business needs to get the job done.
Staples. That was easy.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and My Lowe's Pro Rewards members can save even more with limited time deals. Right now, buy one, get one half off. Select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Primer and Ceiling Paint. Plus, get free same-day delivery to your job site when you order by 2 p.m. Offer valid through 6/13, delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
We get it. Tariffs are tough. Power tools are getting expensive. But at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, we're solving that problem for 2 short days on June 20th and June 21st. We're putting all Milwaukee power tools on massive discounts. Tons of Milwaukee batteries and bare tools for less than $100. 25% off all regular price Milwaukee pack-out boxes and much, much more. So stop by Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet in Sacramento on June 20th and 21st for some of the lowest prices on tools you'll ever see this year. To see all of what's on sale, visit FastenersInc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Hi, Sacramento. It's the No Surprise Guys at Bell Brothers Plumbing and Air Conditioning. Is your AC on the fritz? Call Bell Brothers. Looking to replace your old unit with a 0% financing and no payments for 12 months on approved credit? Call Bell Brothers. We're fast, reliable, and respect your time by showing up when we say we will. The price we quote is the price you pay. We are the No Surprise Guys. Call today to get a free estimate on a new HVAC system or simply schedule your $87 AC Precision tune-up to keep your system running smoothly. With more technicians, more trucks, and more experience, we get the job done right the first time. No surprises. Our technicians are all background checked, drug tested, and will leave the work area cleaner than they found it. Don't wait. Call Bell Brothers today or book online at nosurpriseguys.com. That's nosurpriseguys.com.
People are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, from Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville, because they've seen for themselves the huge selection and the best prices at SacSuperstore.com. Good luck finding a lower price anywhere else. And if you do, they'll match it. It's as simple as that. Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, where a handshake still means something. Open until 10 o'clock and centrally located right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. And online at SacSuperstore.com. The guaranteed lowest price and the best selection of Dodge, Chrysler, Jeeps, and Rams. SacSuperstore.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacramento's official home of the 49ers.
San Francisco.
Sacktown Sports, 1140.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right. 30 minutes of nonstop sports talk coming your way right now. Joining us at 8 a.m., the mayor, Kevin McCarty, who famously voted no Gold One Center with
well, that didn't work.
One other. Yeah. Glad you lost that one, guy. So it's his first appearance on the program because there's a big vote tomorrow night on another arena/stadium/whatever. And he's on the other side now.
Oh.
Yeah. What is it about this? Or I'm going to ask him.
Yeah, he'll know.
What is it about this deal that you like that you didn't like about the other one? There you go. I'm going to ask it just like that.
Perfect.
Just like
and
that.
He's like,
I just told the guys on the chat as we get to 3 for Madness. So, like our friend Frank Caliendo and other like great impressionists, right? There are these YouTube rabbit holes I'm going down now that someone turned me on. Well, actually, it was Facebook. I think one of those dumb reels that comes across your feed. Musical impressionists. And so people will send in like the one what if Alice in Chains sang "Fell on Black Days" by Soundgarden, or what if Disturbed sang "Disturbia" by Rihanna, and I love talented people.
Yeah.
I just love people that are just like when you see the people do those things where like the dominoes hit the basketball that goes down into the thing that opens up the thing, and then the chicken box, and then the rabbit freaks out, and then it all ends up with like orange juice being made. I love that stuff. The talent that these people have, because it sounds exactly like them. If they had sang that song and you listen to Disturbed singing a Rihanna song, and you're like, that's exactly what it would sound like. And it actually sounds like a Disturbed song. Anyways, the guy's name is, it's a weird name. Mac Glocky, Glocky. And he's this dude that, I mean this with all respect. He kind of looks nerdy. He's got these little glasses on. He's just hanging out at his house with his instruments. But he's one of the most talented people I've ever seen in my life. So if you get a chance, take some time, do your thing. 3 for Madness. Here's Anthony with question 1.
Don Nelson won the Chuck Daly Lifetime Achievement Award over the weekend. What's your favorite Nelly moment?
My favorite Nelly moment, I've mentioned it before. It's why I wrote the question, because he's got a lot of public moments. But my favorite Nelly moment was this is when I had the Cliff Robinson encounter, covering the visiting locker room. And the fact, so at the old Arco, like they didn't have the facilities they do now. They didn't have things like podiums or microphones or probably bathrooms. When you wanted to talk to the opposing coach post-game, you just stood outside the door of the locker room and he'd come out in the hallway and just hold court, whoever it was. But Don would always come out with like a Coors Light or a Bud Light or a Pabst. It did. I mean, I think I saw him drinking like 4. He wasn't picky. And he'd always have a beer or two. And he'd roll out and he'd just kind of hold court and then go back in. And his demeanor is just, you know, he'd be fiery, don't get me wrong, but his demeanor was just like, yeah, okay. And then, which is why it's no surprise, Jason, that they said this is the first time he's left. He lives on Maui now. Mm-hmm. He and Snoop Dogg and Willie Nelson, I think they all have a card game together. I think they all have a poker game together. He says the first time he's left Maui in 7 years to come get this award, which makes absolute sense that Don Nelson is just drinking beers, walking around his whatever farm plantation, whatever you call it out there, in bare feet, just loving life. He's a personality.
Yeah, mine would be very similar. I remember Arco, like you said, and there was one thing they used to do that obviously it's, you know, you say different time, different age. They used to have a keg in the media room.
You're kidding me.
No. So like a lot of times media members, post game, you can go over there and pour yourself a beer.
Oh, wow.
And not only did I see him do that, he used to do that. Then when they did have like in the media room, kind of their version of a podium, and you're visiting with the opposing player or opposing coach, and he would just, you know, you just hear him pop the top, take a drink, and he kind of hide it under the podium. But you're like, yeah, we all know
what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah, Nelly was definitely a character. I think he was always pretty innovative. I think he would be a good coach today. I think he was a good coach back then. And I like that he's living his best life.
I love that he's living his best life. Yeah. He's good. He did his time. He did his time as a player, as a coach, and now he's moved on and he's doing. You know what I don't know is if he. I'm sure it's out there. I don't know if he smokes weed or not. Like Snoop and Willie are famous for. Snoop said Willie's the only guy to ever smoke him under the table, right? Mm. I don't know. I feel like Don does.
I feel like he would.
But
I don't know.
But I don't know.
To each their own.
You know what? To each their own, Jason. Yeah. Number 2, please.
Question 2.
ESPN announced that they will be releasing an E60 on Scott Pollard's heart transplant, and Gary Gerald will be amongst those in it. How cool is that?
It's awesome. Scott Pollard's such a great. Well, first off, Scott's beloved here. Let's just start there. And he deserves it. He's such a great guy. His wife Dawn is amazing. They're just a great group of people, and Scott has all the love in the world for Sacramento. Always will. Anytime there's a charity golf tournament, anytime there's any chance for him to do anything, he was always there. I remember during the fight for the Kings, anytime we needed anything, Scott was like, yeah, where can I help? What can I do? And would send us like voice memos of him narrating stuff, reading stuff. He's just a good dude. Then he was going to die. Yeah. He needed a heart transplant. And I remember talking to him once on the phone, and I hope I don't misquote him, but you'll get the idea. It was something like, finding somebody with a big giant monster heart for a 7-footer, that's healthy enough that leaves early enough to where the heart is still usable. That's like finding a needle inside of a needle inside of 12 haystacks. Well, they did. They found it. And he had the transplant and seems to be doing phenomenally. And the whole process, he would put a little bit of it out on his Twitter, or his wife would, him him walking again. He'd start out, he could only walk like 20 steps before he was out of breath. And, next thing you know, he's cruising around on a walker. Next thing you know, he's rolling around doing his thing. The fact that they're going to have a doc because they documented this whole thing is fantastic. And I expect a large or a decent chunk of this documentary is going to deal with the donor and the circumstances. Yeah. And I thought of you because one of the most special people in your wife's lives is the donor who recently passed, but the donor that helped your son.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine that bond.
Right.
It's going to be amazing to watch.
Yeah, I think the trailer that was released, because I think it's what did you say the date was? June?
I didn't.
Oh, I think it's like 2 weeks away, or maybe even a week away.
Yeah.
The trailer looks amazing.
Yes.
And just even the little bit, we've known Scott, but I didn't know the story about his own dad. So, unearthing some of that and then telling his story, and just, this is just a snapshot of what we're going to see. But I mean, the stuff they have to go through is just incredible. And doctors, nurses, but his family, those close to him, that they all have to go through it. There's a lot of people that have to, and Scott himself, obviously.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's going to be a must see for Kings fans.
And G-Man's going to be in it. G-Man's going to be in it. How great is that? So we get to see Gary Gerald as part of the backbone. So I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure we'll talk about that after that is posted out there. Number 3, please.
Question 3.
Speaking of sports docs, what's the best one you've ever seen?
That's a tough one. And I wrote the question at 3:30 this morning, and I've been going through it all day. The answer I want to say, and I hate to say it, number 1, I'm incredibly biased. Number 2, I hate saying it because there are so many people listening right now that haven't gotten a chance to see it, and I feel like it's just twisting the knife. But Jason Hare did such an amazing job on Down in the Valley, the story of the fight for the Kings. I don't know that I'm being biased or not, because I've heard from other people that have no connection to the Kings, some of which are in the business, not our business, but in the documentary making business. It's just the way Jason, who remains a dear friend to this day, embedded himself in Sacramento and really got to know the people involved, the way the city works. I don't know that anyone has really captured the heart and soul of Kings fans, whether locally or beyond, more than Jason. And I hate that people haven't been able to watch it. And I was thinking about this the other day too. I don't know if this would work or not, but I was going to tell him, and he, by the way, Jason's done The Last Dance, Michael Jordan. He's moved on to like insane stuff. I actually think you could do another doc. I think 12 years have passed. Well, 10 years because the doc came out later. But what if you did a 30 for 30 in part about the 30 for 30? So you did the story of all of that, right? But on top of that, included the original 30 for 30 and how that went, how it wasn't released at the last minute. It's the only shelved 30 for 30 ever. Why that happened. There have been, without getting into it, because I'll be the rest of the show, there have been things that have happened
right
since that 30 for 30 would have come out to people that were in the 30 for 30 that are incredibly, for lack of a better term, interesting. There are a lot of people that were in that doc as heroes that now imagine the way it was, the way it was with Vivek at the beginning now. And now we fast forward and there's all kinds of mixed thoughts, not just Vivek. David Stern's no longer with us. Grant's in the documentary. Like there's a lot of stuff. Kevin Johnson. I honestly think you could turn that whole thing inside out and make an updated version explaining everything and then finally frickin' release that one. So for me, biased, that's my favorite. Mm-hmm. Unbiased, it's The Last Dance. It's the Jordan doc.
Yeah, I mean, both of those are Jason Hare, right? So
yes.
I think anything that you feel attachment to is you're going to lean towards. So anything with the Kings and the relocation, that's always going to be a big piece for me. I would say The Last Dance is great. I always say this about the 30 for 30. Sometimes it could be a topic like, I don't know that I really care about that.
Sure.
And then if you start watching, like, this is so good. I loved the Bill Walton 4-piece documentary that they had on him. Honestly, one of my favorites, believe it or not, it's kind of sports related, but OJ's Made in America
was insane. That was Ezra. Speaking of Jason, that's a really good friend of his. Forget the guy's name, Ezra something, but that's the guy that did that doc. And up until The Last Dance, I think that was the gold standard for sports doc.
That one was incredible. So, I mean, I think there's so many of them. I know this one had been out for a while. I just watched something recently, a little bit on the Dream Team.
I haven't
the
seen
original
that
one, but it was also the game where or the scrimmage or the practice where Weber and
I
Hurley,
did see that.
Grant Hill,
Yeah.
and Jamal Mashburn, allegedly beat them.
Yeah.
And Coach K saying, well, Chuck Daly let that happen. You're like, wait, what? And those guys are like, no, we beat them, and I don't know. It was just really interesting to hear the story from all sides on that. So I don't know. I'm a fan of all kind of sports documentaries. One of the ones 30 for 30 that I love for, I don't know why, but I think it's also a good life lesson and Sean Salisbury was in it, was Broke. That's a really good one, just telling how many athletes have obviously reached the pinnacle, but then financially where different things went wrong, whether they got involved in the wrong investment, wrong people.
Bernie Kosar was
just
in that
spent their money. I mean, a lot of people. Andre Rison, I remember, just flat out broke.
You know, it's interesting, and it's like when we talk about, for example, if we're complimenting a general manager, I think we always try to do a really good job at saying, hey, it's the whole team involved with the GM, his scouts. And so I say that with this in mind, that it's more than one person, but really, regardless of how you feel about him, and my thoughts have changed. I think Bill Simmons is one of the most fascinating sports commentators. And to be honest with you, the funny thing is, I actually think a 30 for 30 on Bill Simmons would be hilarious. And I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like. I get it. But this is a guy that was working as a bartender in Boston, and he just started writing a newsletter. And next thing you know, ESPN.com the magazine used to have a thing they called Page 2. And Bill he was the Boston sports guy. And then that became the sports guy at ESPN. And dude, I am telling you right now, the amount of times, and I guarantee you there's a legion of people like me, that this is before iPhones. You'd get Simmons' article in the morning, you'd print it out, you'd take it with you into your own personal room. How many sports fans over the years were sitting in the bathroom reading 7 pages of an extended Bill Simmons article from the day, and then his trade article, all the different themes he came up with, and then he rose to being their columnist, their prime columnist. Then he started Grantland, which I loved Grantland. That's where we met Zach Lowe and a lot of the personalities we have today. He shepherded Pablo Torre's career, who, as speaking of Pablo, bringing it all back to the surface, Pablo's the guy that hosted the Q&A. He was the MC at Tribeca when Jason's 30 for 30 on the Kings was entered as Film of the Year. Pablo is very familiar with this story. And then Grantland goes away, Bill goes away, but what he left behind was his production company that brought ESPN the 30 for 30s, which, if you don't remember, it was this massive project in which they got different directors from movies or here or there or whatever to find a passion project they were into. And they did 30 documentaries. Mm-hmm. And they were going to do 30 documentaries in 30 days. It was just a one-off. The DVD set and all that. Well, it was so damn popular that it has now become such a franchise that, quite frankly, especially when you look at the partnerships they have with HBO and Max, I'm honest to God surprised that ESPN hasn't actually devoted a specific channel to nothing but 30 for 30s and E60s that you could just run on. You have hundreds of these now. Mm-hmm. You have so much content. And I understand, like, ESPN, you can see a lot of these, ESPN Classic or any one of those where they run these all the time. But I honestly think you could have a dedicated channel. They have completely revolutionized the way sports docs are done. And that's Simmons. I honestly think a story on him would be quite interesting, from where he was the everyday Joe, which is how he made his bones early, to now he's literally one of the top 5-10 most powerful people in sports. It's kind of crazy when you think about it.
He was on the NBA Finals coverage.
Yes.
I mean, there's that part of it. He had wasn't that his show, like the Joe Buck show, was through him or something. Is that right?
I think.
Am I right, or am I mixing up things there?
Wait.
Or did he have his own show too?
Who, Bill?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Bill had. He had that ill-fated HBO show that he had for a month.
Yeah.
I think a talk show that didn't work.
Right.
I don't particularly think. I think Bill is good as like the third analyst at the draft to make snarky comments and screw with Mel Kiper or whatever. I'm fine with that. And basketball is his bread and butter. I'm not a huge. His podcast is fine, but I really do think Bill is at his best when he's writing. I still do to this day. I just don't think he likes to do it as much. You'll see maybe 4 columns out of him a year now, and one of them's that. But his book on basketball, his book of basketball, The Pyramid, it really is interesting when you think about how much I watched over the weekend. It's probably what made me think of this. I don't know if you've seen the documentary on the Bad Boy Pistons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
just excellent.
And the one that seems like it's been on a lot here, I should say, recently is Reggie Miller in New York. Because of the timing with the Knicks and Tyrese Haliburton and all that. That one's great. Like all of them you can kind of get into, and even if it's not, like I said, anything related to the Kings gets everybody excited because they're, that's here, they've lived it, they remember it.
Yeah.
But some of those others, even if you don't really have a true connection, they do a good job of bringing you in, and I think that's the true art of those great documentaries.
When you look at, like, for example, we talked about The Last Dance. One of the reasons I think the reason it's my favorite is, well, number one, it came at an unprecedented time, COVID. I've had these conversations. I don't think he'll mind me sharing, but Jason, the director, and I have had these conversations off air, and I really think we actually talked about it a little bit on the air. You'll remember, maybe. It's like the most uncomfortable thing for him to talk about from his point of view, because you have this crazy thing going on with COVID that's affecting, I don't need to rehash COVID. From a purely in a vacuum, taking nothing else into account, from a pure standpoint of the network and you as a director, I don't think you could have had better timing. Everybody was in their homes.
Right.
Everybody was around the TV. It became a national phenomenon. Also, the most important, I don't know about important, but Ali, Tiger, you could count on one hand the sports subjects you'd want to have unfettered access to, Michael Jordan. Also understanding, like, when Jason first got the job and hearing from him, like when he first got it years prior, you're dealing with Jordan Brand.
Right.
You're dealing with Jordan's people. Like you're dealing with footage Jordan had that had never, ever, ever been seen. It's not like he's coming to film you and me. This is a whole, the amount of voices in the room and what he had to do up top to try to please the networks, try to please the Jordan people, try to please everybody, the NBA, and then, make a good doc. And he somehow manages to make this, what was it, a 10-part, 9-part, whatever, this opus. And whether it's the story that was told and the behind the scenes we got to see, that a little bit like the OJ doc, where you saw this footage that you never knew existed, you can't believe it existed, to the thing that Jason really kind of helped pioneer that I love. And I remember when he came up with, when he said he was going to use this, was Jordan watching somebody on an iPad say something, or a highlight, or whatever it was, while the camera was trained on Jordan watching something about Jordan. To see the live reactions was like this. It was this thing that just took you inside of that world even more. And I thought it was brilliant. There's just so many things involved there.
Yeah, and I think the best stuff was if somebody said something about Jordan and then he watched it, and just his, present day reaction to, we already know he's the greatest, right? But it's like someone doubting him or praising him, whatever it might be, just to get his reaction was priceless.
Absolutely. And you saw things that I think what I came out years later, I watched it again about 2 years ago. It's a lot to watch. I think years later, after all the initial shock and awe of, oh my God, I can't believe I'm seeing this. Everybody's going to have their own conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
I have come to the conclusion that sometimes I actually pity Michael Jordan. That doc actually helped. Where he is a champion, by most thoughts, the all-time greatest basketball player of all time. He is the most popular athlete on this earth, along with guys like Lionel Messi, and he's Michael Jordan. The Jordan brand mystique, all of that. But watching that doc, you see how tortured he is. That competitive fire, getting emotional and shedding real tears, talking about how important it is to him, was to him, and what was the line, and if you don't like that, that's not my problem. Like, I just wonder if he ever actually even has the capability to relax.
Right.
And I can think of very few things that must be most torturous for somebody whose entire life is based on being the best, being competitive, seeking out and creating challenges, slights, chips on shoulder, all of that, right? I can think of no worse torture than to be that individual that is now growing old.
Yeah.
And can't do it. Now, golf course, poker, he'll find other outlets.
Yeah,
but
which he clearly does.
She clearly does, but it ain't the same. And he's trapped in this body, this failing, decaying body over the next few years.
Competitive.
Maybe the most competitive guy in the world, maybe the most competitive guy the world's ever seen. And so, pitying Michael Jordan. Yeah, right. But again, I respect the torture that is probably within this guy's head, despite the fact that he's got everything he could possibly want in life. It's always interesting. All right, we'll take a break. Good convo. When we come back, let's look a little bit of baseball the week ahead for the Giants and A's, and some interesting things showing up on TV when it comes to the Athletics as well. We'll do that next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Whitey here for Napoleon Grills, reminding you that when buying a new grill, every detail matters. While supplies last, you'll receive a $149 gift with purchase on every new Napoleon Prestige stainless steel grill. The kit even includes a pizza lover starter kit and much more. And now up to $79 off Napoleon Rogue models. Napoleon grills are built different, built better, built to last, with a lifetime warranty and premium steel that boasts amazing quality. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sepp Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sepp Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sepp's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
How can you free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business. Smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast so they can focus on strategy and growth. Free up your team and focus on your future. Learn more at amazonbusiness.com.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Bump, bump. Does Dave still want Bill Simmons on the Kings?
Yeah, good one. Good one.
Sam Amick had a good article about Tyrese Haliburton. And one of the nuggets he was in there that doesn't get talked about enough is that not only were the Kings were looking at trading Fox for Sabonis, but it quickly became clear that wasn't going to work from the Pacers' angle, but that there were also really deep talks into trading for Ben Simmons rather than Domantas Sabonis.
Mm-hmm.
That would be your look, that they were very much interested in Ben Simmons. Which obviously would have, imagine that.
Right.
Like, as bad as it is, imagine if the Kings had traded Tyrese Haliburton for Ben Simmons. Now, I don't know if Ben Simmons would have been any different. Who knows? But I think the most likely scenario is Ben would have, imagine that happens. Simmons comes here and has his back issues and doesn't play. And even when he does, it's like 9-9-9. And Haliburton's leading. I mean, again, I don't know, Haliburton's leading the Sixers to the final. Who the hell knows? Like, you think it's bad now? You've got a guy who has led the league in rebounds the last 3 years and is a borderline all-star. Probably should have been an all-star pretty much every year. I get it, but imagine instead of Sabonis is Ben Simmons.
Right.
Holy crap! That would have been fun.
Yeah, lots of fun for us, huh?
Lots of
for
fun.
You, as the Ben Simmons.
I would have been rolled out of this town by now if that had happened with all the love for Ben Simmons I'd shown. Baseball time, real quick. By the way, your guy Aaron Judge,
2 more home runs yesterday.
2 more home runs, and Hunter Dobbins was the starter for Boston. On Sunday, and he told the Boston Herald, because he grew up a Red Sox fan from Texas, which is weird. He said he'd rather retire if the Yankees were the last team to give him a contract. Judge was unaware of the comment until ESPN's Eduardo Perez relayed it to him before the series finale Sunday. Judge said, "I've only heard Ken Griffey say that, so I was a little surprised." And that's when Ken Griffey Jr. famously said that, because there was a bad interaction with the Yankees by him. And then Judge turns on a 98-mile-an-hour heater and goes yardongo, and then does it again. So not a bad day for your guy, Judge.
They didn't win, but he had a couple home runs. Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to say this. He's got a lot of power.
He does. And he's hitting for average. And Jacob Wilson, though, trying to keep it close. He keeps moving up. He's like over 370 now, getting closer to Judge.
Trying to remember just off the top of my head. Didn't the A's have 3 straight rookies of the year? It was like Walt Weiss, McGuire, and Canseco. Yeah, right?
Yeah. In some order.
Or was it 4? I know they had at least 3 in a row. And I can't imagine I mean, Jacob Wilson's pretty much, I don't want to say he's wrapped it up, but.
Yeah, he's having an incredible season.
Guy,
he's great.
The guys, here we go. Walt Weiss in 88, Canseco in 86, McGuire in 87. Okay, it was just 3 in a row. Wow, I haven't looked at this in a long time. Some of the names that have won Rookie of the Year, Jason. You ready for you want some randoms?
Mm-hmm.
Not randoms. You'll know these guys. Remember the outfield? It was Cubs. It was Dwight. Damn it. Jerome Walton won Rookie of the Year for the Cubs. God, who'd they have? Dwight somebody. I took my best friend on a bus downtown to get an autograph from him, and he was my buddy's a huge Cubs fan. We actually Dwight.
I'm not remembering.
You will. Dwight. His name was Dwight something. Dwight, outfielder, Cubs.
Stone.
Dwight Smith. Yeah, it was Dwight something. Well, there's Chris Sabo. We know him. Pat Listash.
Wow.
Pat Listash won Rookie of the Year for Milwaukee in 92. Bob Hamlin. Remember the team?
Mm-hmm. Royals?
Yeah, that's right. The Royals, 94. Marty Cordova.
Wow, Twins?
The Twins. The Dodgers, Todd Hollinsworth. Ben Grieve. God, I forgot Ben Grieve once.
Mr. Double.
What a freaking prospect he was, too. Then he wins rookie. God dang, man. Scott Williamson with Cincinnati. Kazuhiro Sasaki with the Mariners. Jason Jennings and Eric Hinsky won them in 2002. I mean, some of the and no, by the way, no offense to these players. It's just It's so funny when you look at like NBA rookies of the year. It's not always, Michael K. Gilchrist online too, but generally they're gonna be studs. It's just so interesting when you look at the Major League Baseball rookie of the year. Not so much.
Yeah. Not all these Hall of Famers.
No, not all these Hall of Famers. But the A's, either way, they've got the presumptive AL Rookie of the Year in Jakob Wilson. Interesting with the A's, who they've won 2 or 3. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be an issue going on now that's developing with the sell the team shirts.
Yeah, I saw a few the other day at the game.
And you see these clips now where like Chris Townsend and somebody, I think they rotate.
Steve Sachs,
they're doing the post-game show, and you got the field and the stands behind them. And you'll see somebody, there's some clips out there, like somebody standing in the back, like they do for like the Kings pre and post-game show.
Clearly see them.
They're wearing a sell shirt. And then what happens is the security goes over there and stands in front of that person with their back to the camera. So all you see is security behind these guys. Now, look, there's no better. This is just, to me, and I know they're in a tough spot, but just some quick advice. There is no better way to inflame something like that than to give off the appearance that you are stifling their speech. Okay. It's only going to make it worse. So the first option would be just let the guy stand there. Who cares? But okay, fine. Let's say that's not going to happen. You're not going to make that happen. Then you got to move the set, dude. You got to move the set. And I understand there's logistics, but worst case scenario, put the backdrop against the wall and then you can put a green screen back there and green screen a live feed. You could put a still shot of the field, or you could move them down to the front row after the game. Again, I think that's a logistical issue probably, and have the field. You have to create a way to where that's not going to be an issue. I know it's nice on TV to have the fan. I get it, but this isn't, by the way, and this is in no way, shape, or form a shot at the production crew. I know some of those people, and they're the best. It's a goofy situation. And the security standing in front of the guys wearing the sell shirts, that's making national news. It's just getting across what they want.
Yeah, Kings, look, they moved their set. It was facing the other way, and fans behind them. There's some nice lure to that, but then, sometimes things get a little carried away, and they switched it. So then now the set is facing the fans. There's something they could do there. I agree with you 100%. I think the more of a deal the organization makes of it, then that catches everybody's attention. Like if the Cell shirt was in the background and just kind of got there and people saw it and then moved on, I think nothing happens.
That's exactly right.
But the fact that it was tried to be stifled there, and then it gets attention.
And you're 100% right, Jason. And they have the comment for 2 years now. They have the comments turned off on the official team social media account. Look, dude, I'm fine with it because I'm on the side of the Oakland people,
right?
But also, and I say this with all due respect to them, because this is what the only way you're gonna deal with it and get it. You just got to let them tire out.
Yeah. Wear them out.
Let open up the social media comments. It's going to be insane for a while. No matter when I don't care if it's in Vegas in 2 years. The day they open up their social media comments for months, everything they tweet is going to be blah, blah, blah. Should be okay, great. It will eventually peter out. Thus, for example, when was the last time you saw a Sonics fan under a Thunder post?
Right.
Like, come on. Like, you just don't. When was the last time you saw somebody in Sonics green? And it just happened. Doesn't mean they're any less committed.
Right.
You just got to tire them out. Doing this, that's only going to fire them up.
Not going to help at all.
We'll take a break. When we return, the Thunder, even the series. But the Pacers got to feel good. But going back to Indiana, we'll talk about it next.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
Visit SacktownSports.com and join the Sacktown Sports 1140 newsletter.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Comcast Business, powering possibilities. Well, looking for something positive in the midst of a dismal stretch for the A's, center fielder Denzel Clark, finishing his second weekend in the big leagues and playing in his hometown of Toronto, went 4 for 9 with a home run in the last 3 games of the series, and also made a sensational Spider-Man leaping catch over the wall in center field, robbing Alejandro Kirk of a home run. Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. It's how retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing must-visit shops. And it's how healthcare offices become data-managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
With Progressive, renters can save on protection for the things that make your place yours, even things that don't make sense to everyone.
People always wonder why I don't get rid of my guitar since I never play. But it's like, what if I actually end up taking lessons? Sure, I've had it for 8 years, but if I get rid of it, then what will my New Year's resolution be next January?
Exactly. So bundle your renters and auto and save with Progressive and protect the things that make sense to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms and conditions.
If there's one thing we know about dads, it's that they're not easy to shop for. Enter Kohl's. They've got everything from Nike golf gear to his favorite Levi's jeans. And you can save 20% on other finds like Flex Athleisure and Izod workwear. So if you're not sure what to get Dad for Father's Day, you know where to go. Shop Kohl's now. Select styles. Offer ends June 15th. Some exclusions apply. Coupons do not apply to Nike and Levi's. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states and situations.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27 and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
I had the chance to interview former professional golfer and broadcaster Gary McCord a few years back. He hadn't yet enraged the Green Jackets with his television comments about their revered Georgia golf course. He was welcoming and above all humorous, which is why I recently picked up a copy of his book, Golf for Dummies by Gary McCord, a man possessed by golf's magical allure. This 5th edition will help new golfers learn the basics of the game and bring them, as he writes, from the darkness to the light. The book discusses types of clubs, types of courses, how to hit the ball, and how to keep score. The intent is to help you get the ball to the hole in fewer tries and with better form. You'll even find some basic exercises to get you into golf shape. It's a fun read and will help you get over some of the game's intimidation while getting you ready to visit the golf course on your own or with some friends. I always recommend a good PGA professional to guide you along the way, but Golf for Dummies is a fun way to approach a fun game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
The hot weather is coming. Is your HVAC system ready for it? Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating make sure it is. Get to Lee'sAirPlumbingandHeating.com. Check out their $99 HVAC tune-up special. And let me tell you why Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating is the way to go. They took care of me when our heater collapsed over the winter, and Lee set us up with a great new HVAC system that is providing comfort, value, and quality. Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating take care of you. License number 635355.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and local.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Welcome back. From the 209, you guys can text us, by the way. 916-339-1140. From the 209, get a load of this guy. You guys finally let Chris take a vacation, huh? When is he not on vacation, right, everyone? Meanwhile, I'm bracing for it. I actually haven't, with the exception of the travel day, I'm the one that hasn't taken the vacation yet, but it's coming, and I'm going to get it. I know it. Oh, not on vacation, huh? Oh, no, it must be nice. Yeah. I mean, pretty much I think we're working like all here for like, what, 2 days in July? Yeah. That's what happens, guys. Summertime. It happens. See, Earl, Dave, when are you not on vacation? Right now! Not on vacation now! I was on vacation last week. I was on vacation the week before. I was on vacation last month. I don't think. What was the last vacation I took?
Definitely the All-Star break.
February, right?
Yeah.
March? No. April? No. May? I mean, again, I'll take a travel day, I think twice since then, but what is that? So March, April, May, 4 months. 4 months. I'm not taking one this month. Taking 1 day. We're all taking that Friday after Juneteenth to get the wraparound, I believe. I know you're gone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gone. I don't know if Chris is or not, but come on. Right?
Right.
Can we not take vacations, Jason?
We can.
Is that illegal?
It's not illegal.
Thought this was America. Anyways, welcome back. I'm totally not sensitive about that either. The Thunder have even the series. They're not on vacation yet. The Thunder even the series at 1. They split with the Pacers 1-1. And as we said before, Jason Ross, Oklahoma City, or excuse me, Indiana, is absolutely fine. I would think going home with a 1-1 split. They would have liked to have won game 2.
Of course.
But just you have home court. You have literally, by the letter of the law, the Pacers took control of the NBA Finals.
So would you say after 2 games, who should feel better about the situation they're in at 1-1?
I think, Jason, it's Oklahoma City because I think if the games were flip-flopped, I think if OKC had won with the same score last night in game one, and then Indiana won last night, I think we'd be sitting here for the next couple of days saying, did Indiana figure something out? Uh-oh. Not only have they taken control of the series, but now they're taking this momentum into Indiana. That place is going to be on fire. Did they, Rick Carlisle is the ultimate adjuster, which is something we talked about before the series started. Did the Pacers figure something out, and are the Thunder in trouble? The fact that it flip-flopped. Now, I'm not saying the Thunder have it in the bag or anything like that, but I think the fact that it flip-flopped lends me to think the opposite, that, okay, and we said this before the finals, if the Pacers were going to get one, it would be game one. They got game one. Thunder came back yesterday, and take away game one and all these comebacks from the Pacers and just look at that game in a vacuum. It looked like the series we expected. The Thunder dominated them. They didn't blow them out by 50, but the Pacers never threatened after the first. They never threatened after midway through the second quarter. The game was over, and I think it's a coin flip. If the Pacers get another one, they might. I don't want to underestimate them, but I certainly have not changed my mind on who's going to win this series going back.
It's weird because I agree with you in the sense that for a series just by definition to be tied at 1-1 and the underdog has already won on the road team's court.
Yes.
I still think OKC should feel better just because if I'm OKC, I'd go, well, we won game two pretty convincingly.
Right.
And game one, we had the lead all but 0.3 of a second. And they know they let that one kind of slip through their hands a little bit. So I think they believe they're the better team. They've been the better teams in the season, historically how good they are. They've got the best player in the series. They're still, knock on wood, healthy.
Yes.
And like I said, I think for the Pacers to win this series, I think they have to win game 3 and 4. I honestly do. I think they've got to be up 3-1. And I'm not even, depending on how those games were played, I mean, if anybody could get back from 3-1, I think OKC could.
Sure.
But I think the roadmap to win the series has to be 2 wins in Indiana for the Pacers and maybe win every home game. I mean, that might be it, 3, 4, and 6, and then you have a parade. But I don't know.
I do not believe the Pacers can win this series without winning all their home games.
Yeah, I think that's it too. I don't know that they'll get another one in OKC. I think OKC switching to playing bigger yesterday made more sense.
They want that double big lineup.
That helped. And I don't even know that they always have to play the two, but I think they just need to always have one on the floor. For moments of game one, they didn't. They haven't cracked the code of SGA, have the Pacers. Haliburton, as good as he can be, I think, was very silent for a majority of the game. So they've got to figure that out. I just feel like there's more questions still with the Pacers at this moment.
Coming up, well, by the way, the current mayor, we had the former mayor on Friday. The current mayor, Kevin McCarty, is going to come on today. Kevin Nagel will join us tomorrow as we're doing 3 days, 3 segments on the big stadium vote tomorrow night at City Council. And then at 8:28, we're going to talk about Tyrese Haliburton. I don't want to get too far into that, but you mentioned it. 17 points in 34 minutes, 17, 6, and 3 with 2 steals, 2 blocks. Here's the thing, though. 5 turnovers, which is incredibly uncharacteristic for him. And that 17 points, it's almost like when you
maybe a 3 at half.
Yeah. That does not tell the story.
And they were already behind and they were chasing the game. Like, he's got to be more of a tone setter. And for his
absolutely.
And like you said, we're going to talk about it more later, but as for his legendary postseason run he's had, he's also kind of had those moments you're like, where are you?
Where'd you go?
Yeah.
That is his Achilles heel. And we've talked about that in our pre-finals analysis. Is if Tyrese Haliburton has an Achilles heel, it's that team is incredibly. There's an article about his Tyrese Haliburton working with Drew Hanlon, the famous shot doctor or whatever. And there was a record, a list of the Pacers record when Haliburton, it's like he takes 10 attempts in a game, 15, 20. Every level, the bottom line is this. The more shots Tyrese Haliburton takes in a game, the better the Pacers are, all the way up to the point where I don't know what the top level was. It's maybe when he takes 20 shots or more, they were like 12-0. Like they were undefeated. And it goes all the way down to like when he takes 7 shots or less, and they were like 2 and 8 or something like that. And I think instinctively he is a facilitator. He wants to get everybody. That's the right way to think.
Yeah.
But I think with him and his shot coach and his and Rick Carlisle, they both said the same things. Like, what was the line they used? There is such a thing as being so unselfish that you're being selfish. That if you're trying too hard to be unselfish and share with everybody, you're actually being selfish because you're depriving your teammates of their best chance to win the ball game.
Right.
And Rick Carlisle talked about that bad first half.
Another bad first half. Obviously, was a big problem. And we just played poorly. A little better in the second half, but you can't be a team that's reactive and expect to be successful or have consistency. So we're going to have to be a lot better on Wednesday.
A lot of that had to do with the paint defense Carlisle talked about.
They were the best in the league during the year at keeping people out of there. And so they're great at it. We've got to find ways to get the ball in there. And, it's just there are so many things that have to go right on a set of two possessions to get the ball into the heart of their defense. You've got to get a stop, a rebound. You've got to be able to get the ball up the floor without a turnover, and then you've got to be able to get it into the lane and to the rim. And it's a tough task. So, we'll look at it. There were some stretches where we did some good things attacking the paint, but there weren't enough.
Coming up later, Jalen Williams, who had a good game, talked about the adjustments they made from game 1 to game 2. We'll also hear from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, maybe the least popular MVP we've seen in a long time. All he did was have 34 points on 11 of 21.
That's all.
Yeah, that's all he did. 11 points or 34 points, 8 assists, 5 boards, a block, 4 steals. But, he's just a free throw merchant, man.
That's all he is.
Just a free throw merchant. Either way, they're going back to Indiana tomorrow, game 3. And you know it, old Gainsbridge Fieldhouse, the energy is going to be off the charts, matching the energy that you might have. When our friends from American Energy Heating and Air show you just what they can do for you. Hello, Carmichael Dave with Jason Ross. Christopher Lott on vacation. I'm here to talk to you about American Energy Heating and Air. Been serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. You want to know how they are with the Better Business Bureau? How about an A+? Just like Ralphie when he dreamed in A Christmas Story about the theme he wrote about the Red Ryder BB gun, and teacher gave him an A+++++. That's American Energy Heating and Air. Right now for $24.50. You can get a tune-up. That's half off regular price. And, you have the peace of mind knowing that your home is going to be nice and cool all summer long. And by the way, we're already seeing 100-degree weather, 90-degree weather. Nice week this week, by the way, all in the 80s. But this summer is going to suck if it's this hot in June. Because as you know, Sacramento summers are no longer June, July, August. It's really July, August, September, and half of October. So get that peace of mind. Also up to $3,500 in rebates on qualified units for getting yourself a brand new air conditioner. 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990. AmericanEnergyAir.com. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable. We'll take a break. Mayor Kevin McCarty joins us next.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're 55 and up, T-Mobile has plans built just for you. 2 lines of unlimited for just $30 a line. That's a 45% savings compared to Verizon and AT&T. But don't just take our word for it.
It's not just the savings that are great with our T-Mobile plan. There's all this value from all these other things that T-Mobile offers.
T-Mobile has been such a savings for us.
We love it. Switch today and get 2 free 5G phones like the Motorola Edge with Turbo Power charging that gives you power for the day in just 15 minutes. And customers 55 and up can get 2 lines of talk, text, and data for only $30 a line. Go to T-Mobile.com/55 to learn more. With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 new lines with autopay for well-qualified customers plus taxes, fees, and $35 per line connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. 45% off 2 lines versus AT&T Starter and Verizon Welcome. Plan benefits vary. See details at T-Mobile.com. Motorola Edge requires 68-watt charger. Charger sold separately. Actual performance will vary based on usage and configuration.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
An Australian hiker travels to the American West to walk a wilderness trail.
Wasn't afraid to be out on his own.
But Eric Robinson vanished in the high Uinta Mountains.
I remember thinking, Eric, what were you thinking, mate?
I'm Dave Cawley. Join me on my podcast, Uinta Triangle, where I travel the world to answer the question, what happened to Eric Robinson? Follow Uinta Triangle. That's UINTA Triangle on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Welcome back. Carmichael Dave. Jason Ross. We think we are going to speak to the current mayor of Sacramento, Kevin McCarty. I'm actually giving him an alternate number here so that he can. I think he's trying to. Well, he's either busy. He might be busy mayoring right now.
Yeah, there's always mayor stuff to do.
Yeah, you got to get up and have some coffee and mayor.
Yeah,
then roll around and do some more mayoring. Maybe there's some emergency mayoring that popped up.
Could be. We could put to the back burner.
Some last minute mayoring. I wonder. Honestly, I don't know. Do mayors? Do you get like a? What are the fringe benefits? Like, do you get a driver? You get security. You get like a couple of. I know it wouldn't be Secret Service, but like a Sacramento version is just like some big dude
hanging around.
Can of silly string.
I'll protect you.
I don't know what it would be. Would it be would a mayor get like a? Is there a mayoral palace?
Oh, I don't know.
There's the White House. There's a governor's mansion.
Yeah, what does the mayor get?
I don't know. Why don't you bring him in?
Okay.
As
come on in.
We're happy to be joined by again we had former mayor, the honorable former mayor Bill Steinberg on Friday, and now we welcome in the honorable mayor, which I think is most important as we introduce this guy. Former attendee of Winston Churchill Junior High. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which I went to, Derek Lee went to. I mean, it's a
you're moving down that list.
I honestly I'm near the bottom, if not at the bottom. The honorable Kevin McCarty joins us. Mr. Mayor, it's Dave, it's Jason. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Great to be here.
Big day, and I want to get this out of the way. The elephant in the room, Mr. Mayor, is a big part of mayoring is not just the sports stuff or this stuff or that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that goes on, but when Golden One Center was approaching there were 2 no votes on that final vote. You were one of them. You and I don't want to put words in your mouth, but the deal for whatever reason, which I'm sure we'll talk about here, it was not to your liking or not enough to your liking. Now tonight, a big vote, Sac Republic, the stadium, the development, everything. And you're a big proponent of this. I find that incredibly interesting. And I was just curious, so we can just go right to it. What goes from you being a no vote on the Golden One Center vote to being such a strong proponent and yes vote of what's happening tonight?
Well, first of all, thanks, Dave and Jason, for having me on. And boy, Dave, you get right at it. The first 10 seconds. No, hello, good morning. What's going on?
I said you're a Winston Churchill guy. It's okay.
One more thing. I want to talk about this vote, too. I actually am an El Camino High School guy, too, and where my teammate was Derek Lee in baseball. So, look, I grew up here in Sacramento playing youth soccer, flag and Pop Warner tackle football, baseball. I'm a sports guy. I played baseball in high school. I wasn't any good. I ended up being a politician, and Derek Lee ended up being a 15-year major leaguer. So I'm not like an anti-sports guy. I remember going to my first Kings game when they came here when I was in middle school. I was at the 2002 Western Conference Finals. It still pains me when Mike Bibby hit the clutch shot in Game 5, went back and lost 6, and we lost it in 7. So I'm a Kings guy. I'm a sports guy. But at that time, I just thought my job as a city council member wasn't as a fan. It was as a steward of the public money. And, I've always been kind of leery of these subsidies across the country. I've read the book Field of Schemes and how cities just get fleeced. And I just want to make sure it's in the best interest. And the Kings have done an amazing job turning around that dead mall in downtown Sacramento. That arena is beautiful. I give it to that. I go and support it. I go to Kings games, consciousness and that. But Dave, I went back and looked recently because I was curious. I looked at the vote in 2013 and I voted no. And here's kind of what I said. The question I said, what many cities say is, what if the revenues don't pencil out? Who should be the backstop if it doesn't pencil out? The team or the city of Sacramento? And I wanted the team because on many of these deals, the city is left holding the bag when the rosy projections don't pencil out. And literally, we're voting on it tomorrow night, not tonight, Dave. And so tomorrow night,
God, you're so right.
Tomorrow we vote at 2:00 on the stadium, soccer stadium, and we vote at night on the budget. And one of the holes in our budget, literally, we have to pay about $4 million a year to the Wall Street bondholders because the revenues did not pencil out, and we're the ones on the backstop. So I always look at these things differently. Several years ago when Darryl Steinberg was mayor, he asked me if I would consider supporting this one, and I did. This early idea, and in large part because there is minimal risk to the city of Sacramento. There's no risk to the general fund. This is going to pencil out, I'm certain it is, but for some reason it doesn't for the team. They're 100% on the hook. We have nothing in the stadium. They're paying for the stadium privately. We're just focusing on building the roads and the infrastructure around there and giving essentially a tax rebate that says, hey, if you build a new stadium and development around the rail yards, as new tax revenue comes in, we will reimburse you for the roads and infrastructure that you build. So zero risk to the general fund, a good deal for taxpayers, a win-win all around.
So, Mr. Mayor, I'm guessing based on how you describe the differences between the two, sounds like you are for this. Do you envision the vote going well for this project tomorrow night or tomorrow?
I do. I'm 100% in support of it. I think we're going to prevail, but there's a public hearing. There's some concern, and there'll be some tough questions asked and answered by council members and from the public as well. These are never easy, but I think that we will prevail tomorrow night. But we have to get through the match first.
So, coming from the guy that said the vote was tonight, so take that IQ here with a grain of salt. As I understand it, as you said, the city is, this is being done privately, and the infrastructure is basically, for lack of, I'm trying to layman's terms this, it's being fronted, and that is being paid back through property tax that wouldn't, what is an EIFD, that wouldn't be there, the revenue wouldn't be there without this being built. This site that has been a blight on the front porch of our city. We now add again to the landscape and the way the city looks, just creating that district and extending it out. I know there's always opposition to stuff, Kevin, but when you're the guy now, I know you're just one vote, but you're the seat of power. I'm not asking you to make their case, but just as a philosophy, I don't understand how anybody could be against this. I know I'm biased. I know I'm a sports guy. I just don't understand why you would want to hold back, and how difficult is that for you in your spot to try to hear, try to listen, but also say, okay, great, but we got to move on with this city and its growth.
Yeah, I'm always a contrarian, hence my arena vote 13 years ago. So I always like to look at both sides. And I guess the opposition of this side would say, yeah, we are going to forego about $90 million in property tax money over the next 30 years, which is not insignificant. Heck, we're facing a deficit. That's money that could go higher services and police officers. And also we're going to pay for some of the public safety costs in the early years when there's game nights. So there is a risk. I think it's a minimal risk because this land has been vacant for decades. There's a reason no one's developing in the rail yards, because it costs so much to build out there where there's nothing currently, no roads, no sewer, no water, no infrastructure. That's why it's laid vacant. And if you didn't do this project, it would probably still vacant for a long time. But the opponents are saying, oh, that's not true. If you did nothing, they'd still develop out there, and then you generate all these property tax revenues. And we've gone backwards and forwards. And again, this plan's been on the books for decades. Literally when I was a council member and 20 years ago, we voted on the rail yards plan and thought, oh, it's going to happen one day. And 20 years later, even after the state gave $150 million to build those roads out there, which you can see going on I-5, towards Natomas, you can see those roads have been there for over a decade now, still hasn't been much built out there. So sometimes you need to have a little bit of a public-private partnership to spur development. And that's what I say too. Yeah, we will be forgoing property taxes for several decades while this is built, but all the development around there will get all the revenue, tax revenue from those projects for property tax. Plus we'll get all the sales tax revenue from this project, the music venue. And if there's a hotel out there, the same thing. So this I think is an investment. Sometimes cities need to make investments, and this is, again, a fair one. No risk to the general fund. I think a very, very good deal for taxpayers.
And it sure seems like it would promote more growth, which we've seen so much of that in this city and the region around. And a lot of it, Mr. Mayor, has been around sports. We talked about the arena for the Kings. If this happens with the music venue like you're referring to, where do you see this all going? And not just this project, but potentially, 10, 15 years, just how much more growth we can have that's hubbed around sports, but also some of these other things for the community.
Well, look, as I said earlier, we're voting on the budget tomorrow night too, and we're at $40 million in cuts we need to address. We're going to make some, tough decisions and eliminating some programs in the city, keeping core public service like public safety and youth parks programs intact, but really we need to grow our economy. That's how you get out of a budget problem, is how do we grow our economy? And that means more commerce, activity. And I view a big piece of that sports. Sports is just, look, Sacramento's a crazy sports town. We've rooted for the Kings and sold out, for 40 years, as we know here, in good times and bad. We're doing well over there at the A Stadium. I got to throw out the first pitch the other night. It was super exciting with the West Sac Mayor, and I threw out the first pitch at the
Was
A
it a
Stadium.
strike, Kevin?
It was a hittable pitch.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
I think Vlad Guerrero in his toes to nose would have taken a whack at it, but it probably not in the new MLB zone thing. And sports is a big piece of the puzzle. And, I think this is exciting. This is going to help us draw more activity to Sacramento, make it a more viable place. I'm excited that, we have Major League Baseball right now, professional soccer, a Major League, NBA basketball right here in our core city. So this is a big piece of the puzzle. It's a fun city. I think people like the whole music, sports, arts, food scene. And this is a big piece of the puzzle for the future of Sacramento.
Mayor Kevin McCarty joining us. And I want to talk about the Republic as we finish up next. But I've always wondered in the spot, whether it's a council member, which you were for a very long time, and now mayor, how you, and everybody's going to be different, but how you deal with, for example, there's anytime something like this is brought up, and I'm not saying this in any sort of disrespectful tone or that it's not important, but you could bring up any sort of development like this, and it's going to be, yeah, but there's homeless, there's this, there's that, there are real schools need book, whatever it may, there's always going to be incredibly important things that are more important than a basketball or a soccer ball, that on one hand, but also, how do I say this delicately? It's not revenue positive necessarily. People aren't buying, selling out stadiums and parking to go watch Johnny take the math test. On the other hand, you've got sports, which in the big scheme of things, air quotes, isn't important compared to the real things. But
yeah,
how do you measure the almost immeasurable impact sports and concerts and fun things to do, entertainment? How do you measure that as a mayor, that importance, even though you can argue there are other things more important? You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I'm very different. As we know, Dave, I took a different lens on this years ago. Usually across the country, cities get hosed on these arrangements. I kind of like California, where you look at the Warriors and the Giants, paid for those stadiums 100%. The Clippers and the Lakers, the same thing down south. And so, you have to look at that one for one. Are you taking money from the general fund, which could currently go to help programs? And that's one of the arguments the opposition's making is, hey, city faces a $40 million deficit. The subsidy is going to be $90 million over 30 years. And so that's 90 million that we could use today to balance the budget, which is 100% false. As we said, this money doesn't exist. This money will be generated over the next 30 years only if there's a major development, which increases property tax in this area. So, I think you have to look at it for what it is. If they were asking to take money from our general fund today, or to pay debt service on a loan to build a stadium, I'd be against that. Because that would be competing with police, fire, youth programs, keeping our parks clean and mowed. So that is. So you have to look in the details, and this is again a very good, fair deal for the taxpayers of Sacramento. And like I said last week, I've seen risky deals and I voted no on them. This is not one. This is a good deal for Sacramento.
Last thing for you, I want to talk specifically about Sac Republic, because to be clear, there's a lot of other things that are beneficial. And full disclosure, I try to do this. I've seen this deal. I work closely with Kevin, mostly on the England stuff with Kevin Nagel. But between Kevin and Todd Donovan, the team president, Chairman Tarango, Chris Franklin, everybody involved with the tribe that came on board, how important is it when you have such a stable organization in the Republic that has consistently won over the last 10, 12 years, driving this entire thing for the most part? Not just the city having good partners, but the city also having stable partners.
I think it's a big deal, and it's been stable, and it's getting more stable by having a big partner who's a big player financially in Sacramento, who's really stepped up the last 5 years in Wilton Rancheria. The first tribe that's owning a professional sports franchise in America is not lost upon us. That's kind of a really exciting thing right here, and we're so excited about the future. And look, this too. The Republic are minor league soccer. They're not the pro league. They're not MLS, but we're still in the mix for it. And fans are going out there having a great time. They're seeing a fun product. It's family friendly. Tickets are affordable. You can go out there, have a great time. And I remember when the Republic first came here. I'm wearing my Republic jersey right here, and I went to a couple early games, and I was just so in awe about this. I forget what they're called, Dave. Maybe you can tell me. It's the group that drinks beer and marches before the game.
Tower Bridge Battalion.
Yeah, those guys. The battalion were, marching over from, the former brewery. They actually just shut down Track 7 over there by Sac City College, walking across that bridge and just really into it for a minor league soccer team. Like, wow, Sacramento supports our sport. So look, if we only have this team in this division for the future, that would be amazing. But we're in the mix, as we know, for potentially going to MLS one day. We'll be right there. This stadium is going to show that we are major league ready. We're going to support this, and this stadium's going to have other things like concerts and other activities there too. So this is such a big deal, and the sports fans of Sacramento, the diehard soccer fans, and just people who just like to have a good time and go maybe 1 or 2 games a year, are really going to make this project succeed. So the Republic and their success over a decade is a big piece of the puzzle, and we know it's going to be a big deal.
What's the biggest difference between being a council member to mayor? Do things change? Other than the gavel, like do you get a what do you come on, there's gotta be some cool stuff.
Yeah, people ask me this all the time. So my phone, the text messages like nonstop and just random things, and people are asking me. So the amount, I thought I had a big job in the Capitol as a lawmaker for the state of California and a council member. So, but the amount of incoming stuff is off the charts. But it's fun. I get to do exciting things like this and go around the city, see people. I'm all over the city. I've noticed that. People recognize me way more too. When I'm getting a car wash or at Nordstrom Rack, come up, oh, I voted for you, and this and that, and what about this? And so that's kind of fun. Being the face of the city for good or bad, like what's happening in California right now in Los Angeles. And so these things impact us. And so we're the face, good or bad, need to be able to be responsive. But it's an exciting job. I'm a lifelong Sacramentan like you, Dave, and we grew up in the suburbs, you and I. But we're all Sacramento, and so now get to serve my hometown is really fun.
Why do you not have? Dude, you have the same cell phone you've had for years. Why don't you have like a mayor phone?
A mayor phone.
You got like
hotline.
You got a Kevin phone and honorable mayor phone. Why you got to split that up, bro?
I thought about it, and that's probably why my phone does blow up, because everyone has my phone number for the last 25 years, but it doesn't get exploited that much.
Okay.
And maybe I will have to do that, but right now I'm trying to be a normal mayor. So
right.
Just somebody in the community that will go out to the Pops in the Parks concert on like this weekend in East Sac, and have a beer with the residents and just try to be out there in the community. So that's what being a mayor is, being the face and being visible for a city.
Last thing, you had me thinking when we first talked about this. So let me see here. So Sean Cotton, Shane Sullivan, I'm trying to think of some other, Elisa Gonzalez, actually. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the class, Matt Myers. Lots of Churchill, not Lisa, but a lot of Churchill too. Mm-hmm. I know you were quite a bit older than me.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Quite
so guys, what year did you graduate, Dave?
Well, I was a high school dropout, let's be clear, but I would have graduated class of 93.
Okay, well, exactly. So I was class of 90, so you would have been a freshman when I was a senior.
Yeah.
And just so you know, you and I had this in common. We talked about it. I ended up flunking out of El Camino my senior year, had to go over to Winterstein Adult School
yes!
and get my high school diploma through adult education, which I love. But I remember those names. They were the same year as Derek Lee, 93. And I missed TV Lisa by 1 year, but of course we all know TV. We all know TV Lisa. Oh, and then what's her name? The Jessica Chastain, the Academy Award winner.
Yes. El Camino turned out, I was a Rio Americano guy, but El Camino turned out, the Eagles turned out quite a few. And there we go. Look at that. See, I completely forgot that conversation. This is, I know we got to go. This is like 4 years ago. Speaking of Nagel, he was getting some sort of thing at Sac State.
Right.
And I don't want to get too much more specific here because I don't want to blow the mayor up, but I'm walking to this building off campus and I'm just walking there to go. And all of a sudden I say, hey, and I turn to my left, and there's just this dude in like sweat shorts and a t-shirt rolling his garbage can down to the curb because it was garbage day, and it's future Mayor Kevin McCarty.
How about that?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Just a normal guy. Bring this. I hope you have people now. You have a staff that brings your garbage cans down that you can
those
snap
would be
this
the
thing out?
those would be the teenage girls, and they say it's too heavy, and they want help. So yeah, the 16-year-olds.
Well, look, I'll see you tomorrow. Well done. And look, we've been talking about it for a while. We finally got out of the way. You've made your first appearance, and we appreciate the time. I know it won't be the last. And thank you for everything you've done on this. We're big honks for the city. We want nothing but the best for the city. And you and the council and all the councils and Kevin and the tribe and everybody involved, big fans of the city developing. So thumbs up and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you. It's a big day, and we hope we get a great vote tomorrow night, and then we're looking to break ground this summer within a few weeks. And break ground this summer means we can have it ready in 2 years. So this is a big deal for sports fans, for the city of Sacramento economic development, and just overall boosterism for Sacramento. So we're excited.
Well,
see you tomorrow.
When we get off, I'm going to have you text me your home address, because one other note, the mayor has been doing quite well at holding his phone.
Yeah, very impressive.
Right. I'm going, as you know, I like sometimes you go on a show and you get like a watch or something. I'm sending you a stand that you can just throw your phone in, because I know this won't be the last one you do. So those forearms don't have to burn at the end of the day.
I actually have one, but I couldn't get to it in time. But so we're good though. Thank you. Yeah.
Another thing to staff out.
Yes.
All right, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. Take care.
Thanks. Have a good one.
You too. That's Mayor Kevin McCarty. We'll take a break when we come back. Tyrese Haliburton, the good, the bad, and the ugh. Right? Spell that one. We'll do that next.
Capital Casino, conveniently located on 411th North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with the special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with Michelob Ultra. Tickets are available now at CITPFest.com.
Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. Try the TrackMan experience, the very best technology to fit your metalwoods and irons. The new cutting-edge putter fitting studio with its $30,000 worth of technology is ready for your fitting. Hagen Oaks will help you find the best putter for your game. Hagen Oaks offers more technology, more choices, and more service. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531, 808-2531 for more.
The hot weather is coming. Is your HVAC system ready for it? Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating make sure it is. Get to Lee'sAirPlumbingandHeating.com. Check out their $99 HVAC tune-up special. And let me tell you why Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating is the way to go. They took care of me when our heater collapsed over the winter, and Lee set us up with a great new HVAC system that is providing comfort, value, and quality. Let Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating take care of you. License number 635355.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle.
At Ashton and Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
At SMUD, we power business. With incentives, strategic account advisors, 50% lower rates, and clean energy solutions, we help businesses thrive. That's our clean power promise. Learn more at smud.org.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
I hadn't looked at the text line of the YouTube. I had wondered, Jason, bringing on Kevin McCarty, how that would go, because, look, I think, I don't know what the percentage is. I think the vast majority, even of Kings fans in town, couldn't tell you who the two no votes were on Golden One Center. But there are obviously Kings fans that do remember that, know exactly the two people. And I knew in past convos with Kevin McCarty, there was just no way he was going to come on any show I had anything to do with it, and you as well, without that being talked about, at least the first time.
Right.
I thought he did a good. I got to admit, he and I over the years have vehemently disagreed on this, but I respect principles. He was protecting the city. He felt the way he felt. And by the way, look, nobody could have prepped for COVID, but that's what you prep for, is the unpreppable. And he mentioned, look, they got it now. Has the overall deal been great? Are they still making money? Is it still? Yes, of course. But he said, they're going to have to cut a check for the interest. So there were some things, and that's what he was I respect that, which kind of makes tomorrow's vote and his yes vote. I think, if I was on the city council, anything having to do with sports or development, I'm like, I don't care what it costs. Vote. If I ever run for political office, that's going to be part of that's why I won't win, because I'll be like, I don't care. Vote for it.
Make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Don't care. We'll figure it out in the end. We'll pay that bill. My kids will have to pay that bill. I don't care. I want to see rock concerts outdoors downtown. Screw it. Don't care. He's more of, that's not his way. And that's, I'm sure, the far more responsible way. So when he's a yes vote tomorrow,
it's
a good deal. For
this. Yeah. And I think he said it. The former mayor said it last week. So there we go.
Yeah. But a lot of texts are like, this didn't seem like it was a little more tension there than with Daryl. I don't know if there was tension, but I don't think there was tension. It was fun. But I did a good job. Good job, Mayor. Taking a break from mayoring.
Mm-hmm.
Come on the program. Certainly the highlight of his day, I'm sure, stopping by with us.
Yeah, he'll never forget it.
Highlight. That's why he ran for office. Let's be honest. We have every mayor
this opportunity.
There's only got one shot, one opportunity. Fortunately for Tyrese Haliburton, he has at least 4 shots. Well, 5 now at winning an NBA championship. And it is I don't want to say it's the ballad of ups and downs, because he's up more than he's down.
Yeah.
But, Jason, we talked about this before at length. There are times when Tyrese Haliburton just all but disappears.
Yeah, we had this conversation, I think, after you left on Friday, because you went to the graduation.
Yeah.
And I think it's probably nuanced to this. Maybe it's not as simple as, answering this question. I'm going to ask you one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
But the question has come up, is Tyrese Haliburton a superstar?
Yeah.
And
I've heard it.
I think you get into the nuance of that. What does that mean to you? I think Anthony had told a story of how his mom, who's not a basketball fan, knew who Tyrese Haliburton was, and not really just from the Kings, but just because of these moments. He's got legendary, iconic moments. And then I said, all right, look, they're not the same, but Robert Horry has some of the greatest moments in the history of the sport. He's not a Hall of Famer. Right. He was good. He's a really good player.
Yes.
Now, Tyrese Haliburton, I think, has more going for him in his early part of his career than Robert Horry did, but kind of that postseason career spot that he's been in, that he's come through on, has been incredible. But he also has moments like last night where you go, by definition, he is unselfish and he lets the game come to him and he finds his spots. But part of a definition, a little bit of a superstar, is the whole thing is about you, right? SGA he's not the team, but he's the engine.
He is the engine.
He's going to make it all happen. And he might go down, but it's going to be, SGA was 5 of 24.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Tyrese Haliburton had like 2 or 3 shot attempts at halftime.
Yeah.
And, you know, if you have that and he's got 14 assists, though. Well, no, he didn't have that either. And there's just times like that I don't know. I feel like he's somewhere in between there.
So I think this is fascinating because I think to talk about Tyrese Haliburton, you plucked out the exact right name. And by the way, I'm going to ask everybody for a moratorium here because I don't want to keep throwing up in my mouth. Okay, for the next 6 minutes, I'm just going to say the name Robert Horry, and can we all just understand that it disgusts me to say the name, but we're going to have I don't want to do it every time. I think Robert Horry is the single greatest and most interesting conversation when it comes to Hall of Fame of any player ever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it is fascinating to talk about Robert Horry in the Hall of Fame. Well, here's why. Robert Horry played 16 years in the league. Robert Horry's lifetime averages are 7 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, a steal, a block on splits of 42, 34, and 72, averaging half a game, 24 minutes a game. His career high in scoring is 12 points a game. Bless you.
Thank you.
Okay. But Robert Horry is a 7-time world champion, right. And in every single case, he was a vital cog. And in some of those championships, you could very much argue they don't win the title without Robert Horry. Like, he wasn't just along for the ride. He was, as Kings fans well know, he was Big Shot Bob. His awards in the NBA, other than winning 7 titles, he was all-rookie second team in 93. That's it.
Yeah.
No defensive first, second, third team. No. So how is it that so much of the discourse surrounding the NBA and greatness is what we call ring culture?
Mm-hmm.
But other than, God, what's his name? We played in the Sam, the Celtic, just passed away. He was a golf tournament partner of ours years ago, who won like 12 titles with the Celtics. Anyways, Robert Horry's won. Michael Jordan did not win 7 titles. Okay, LeBron James is not one. The list of people that have won 7 titles or more is minuscule, and in almost every case involves Boston Celtics. So could you not make the argument that if ring culture is that important, and Robert Horry not only has 7 rings, but was vital in most or all of those rings, doesn't that count far more than the guy that never got past the second round, but, you know, averaging 26 points a game, he does his thing, but which is it? Because Horry, and I'm not trying to advocate that he should be in the Hall of Fame, but I think there's a lot of hypocrisy that surrounds that conversation.
Yeah, I think that over all of these, I think for sure. But then even my thought on this would be whether or not Horry's a Hall of Famer. I would never have considered him a superstar.
Never,
I think there's
not even a star.
Yeah, there's people in the Hall of Fame that aren't superstars. So that's where Tyrese Haliburton's got an amazing career start. I think he's going to continue to get accolades. He's got a gold medal. He's got all NBA. He's got all-star appearances. But I don't know. I just think it's an interesting – I think the word superstar is for very few people in the sport.
Yes.
And I don't know that he's there. But it doesn't mean he's probably had the most iconic postseason that we've seen in a long, long time.
It's a legendary postseason.
Mm-hmm.
Can you think of a comp? I was having
in
a lot
one
of
postseason. Probably no.
Same. I can't.
It's just difficult to be in that spot. That many close games that he always has had the ball, and he's come through, which is amazing.
By the way, I wanted to look it up. Bill Russell has 11 titles. Sam Jones has 10. Tommy Heinsohn, Casey Jones, Satch Sanders, and John Havlicek all have 8. And then Robert Horry is tied with Frank Ramsey and Jim Lostcutoff.
Huh?
Yeah, at 7. Every single, oh, and by the way, amongst those tied at 6 are Bob Cousy. Every single one of those names above and Cousy's below played in the same Boston Celtics era, which, by the way, was before free agency and moving teams was a thing. And no disrespect to any of those guys. But they all did it at the same time on the same team in one run. Robert Horry did it with the Rockets twice, the Lakers 3 times, the Spurs twice. 7 titles. I have long thought this. It will never happen. It's a horrific take to have in this market. And I know some people may never forgive me for saying this, but I always say,
Dave loves Robert Horry.
I hate Robert Horry. Sports hate. I think he's a Hall of Famer. Okay. I think Robert Horry should be in the Hall of Fame. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. And I have no statistical argument. I have zero statistical argument. But he is the ring culture poster boy Hall of Famer. If you're going to bring ring culture in as part of the grading, he is the best modern era, including Jordan, ring winner there. Let me take that back, because Jordan was the reason they won. Horry was a cog. Anyways, and to bring it back to Tyrese, I know I've gone off the rails here a tiny bit, but to bring it back to Tyrese, this is also his 4th year, 5th year. Long way to go. He's figuring his life out right now in the basketball world. We haven't seen a run like this, if ever, in a long time for a guy like this. But I also feel like, remember, Michael Jordan scored 63 against the Celtics and lost that series.
Yeah. Well, heck, if the Pacers win, that changes the lore even as well, right? If they win this series, they are heavy underdogs.
If the Pacers win, I think Tyrese Haliburton's odds for making the Hall of Fame get into the 90s. Just based, not if he stopped this year, but based on what we've seen and what's coming.
Yeah.
We'll take a break. When we come back, who's hot, who's not, and we'll go streaking all after this.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Pro Paint Days are back at Lowe's, and My Lowe's Pro Rewards members can save even more with limited time deals. Right now, buy one, get one half off. Select HGTV Home by Sherwin-Williams Primer and Ceiling Paint. Plus, get free same-day delivery to your job site when you order by 2 p.m. Offer valid through 6/13. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I was taking my side hustle full-time.
Bold move, my friend.
And I needed to find everything in one stop.
Like finding Bigfoot riding a unicorn.
Yes, so I hit the Staples Easy button. Staples had everything for a new office and print services for signs and brochures. Plus, Cindy, the Staples associate, helped me find the best tech for me.
Wait, no drama?
No, Staples made it easy.
For the products, services, and experts your business needs. Staples.
That was easy.
In-store, online, and on the app.
Are you thinking about buying a new car? Well, maybe you're on the fence. Let me help you out. Kyle Draper here from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton. From the first time I stepped into the MP of Stockton showroom, I knew I made the right choice. I settled on the all-electric EQS SUV. It's comfortable, stylish, and most importantly, it's safe. Mercedes-Benz has the reputation of making the finest cars in the world. Now it's your turn to experience what I already know. Mercedes-Benz of Stockton is the best car buying experience you'll ever have. It's just a short drive down I-5 or anytime at mbfstockton.com.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
Get a $15 prepaid MasterCard after rebate when you buy 5 quarts of Mobil 1 full synthetic motor oil at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and
Joy.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Summer's almost here, and so are popsicles, pool days, and a lot of smiling. Make sure your kiddo's smile is ready with a visit to Kids Care Dental and Orthodontics. Our expert team makes dental visits easy and fun with sensory-friendly hours for kids who need a calmer environment. We can also accommodate same-day treatments, and to save you time, if your child needs multiple treatments, we can often do them all at once. Appointments fill up fast, so don't wait. Beat the summer rush and schedule online at kidscaredental.com. That's kidscaredental.com, where healthy, happy smiles begin.
The Giant Summer Sale is here. Get giant savings on our giant selection only at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save during the Giant Summer Sale and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our number one priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
What's hot and what's not. Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good.
Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company, and second opinion partner.
I gotta love the one guy. I don't see him in here all the time, but Nate has been in here in our chat before.
What's up, Nate?
He goes, world champion of what? The United States? What are we talking about, world champion? I mean, basketball is one of those where you can, that argument's a little better. Come on, dude. Are we still debating that the NBA world champion,
would lose to Maccabi Haifa?
Yeah, come on, man. Just come on. Get off of it. Hey, you know what? Sit on it, Potsy.
Yeah, you told him.
Who is hot?
SGA. Most points scored through their first two games of the NBA Finals of all time. He passed. Do you guys want to guess who he passed?
Mike Jordan.
I was going to say Mikey George.
Nope. Allen Iverson. By 1 point. He passed Allen Iverson by 1 point.
Overrated.
72 points, by the way.
Wow.
Between two games.
Wow.
So I guess he is now the answer.
Yeah. And my mom knows his name now, so that's cool.
Okay.
SGA? Did she spell it?
No.
SGA. There you go. It's easy.
Recognize him in the store, I guess.
He's a free throw merchant. He also has his 13th 30-point game of the playoffs, the most by any player in a single postseason since Giannis Antetokounmpo in 2021. One other who's hot, by the way, Jason Ross, just for fun, Jerry Rice.
Wait, that Jerry Rice?
Yeah, that Jerry Rice.
Why?
So I'm going to give you three wide receivers, okay? Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, and DK Metcalf. Would you say they're good receivers, bad receivers, average receivers?
Terry McLaurin, DK Metcalf, and who?
CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, all good receivers.
All good receivers, right? Yeah. All pros, right? So Terry McLaurin has 6,379 yards, CeeDee Lamb 6,339, DK Metcalf 6,324. Jerry Rice had 6,440 yards after tearing his ACL from the time he was 36 years old on. Jerry Rice had more yards after he turned 36 and tore his ACL than those three guys have for their careers. Every once in a while you hear a Jerry Rice stat and you're like, that's just not real.
Yeah.
Lordy. Well, all right. Not everybody can be Jerry Rice, though. Who's not?
Haliburton in the first 3 quarters of games for some reason. Just not aggressive, not looking to shoot. In game 2, he was shooting 20% before the fourth quarter.
Yeah. That's not great.
Gross.
Nah.
I don't know. Do you have plans for 4th of July?
I'm not sure.
Any chance?
Family barbecue, that kind of stuff.
Any chance you're going to be in kind of mid-England, east of the Pennines?
Oh, you know what? No.
Okay. Birmingham, which is a huge city in not just Alabama, but also England. I think it's the second biggest city in England, I think. Saturday, July 5th, the original members are the ones that are still here at Black Sabbath. Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, Ozzy Osbourne, and Bill Ward. They're doing the final show, followed by Ozzy doing a solo, which I don't think Ozzy has many shows left in him. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Slayer, Tool, Pantera, Alice in Chains, Anthrax, and then appearances from Billy Corgan and the Smashing Pumpkins, Dave Draymond of Disturbed, Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit, Jonathan Davis, the lead singer of Korn, Sammy Hagar, Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine, Vernon Reid of Living Colour, and Whitfield Crane from Ugly Kid Joe will all be, it's a $20 pay-per-view, Jason. I might just do it. That is the weirdest lineup I've seen in a long time. I hope it's good. Plus, it's in England, so they're all going to be freaking out and throwing beers and stuff. That's going to be a blast. Anyways.
Worth your $20.
I don't know about the trip over. I got plans for 4th of July. Although it'd be 4th of July in England would be kind of fun to be over there because I just walk around in like a flag hat and be like, what's up, guys? Yeah. Remember when you had that 13 colony lead and a bunch of farmers beat you? Yeah.
They blew a 13-0 lead.
They did. They blew a 13 colony lead. What's up? What's up, England? West Side?
See how that goes.
Have an eagle on my shoulder. Yeah. It's like, yeah, America. Where we know what pudding is. And it's not a freaking piece of bread. It's a pudding. They have no idea.
Crooks.
No, that's a moose. It's not a pudding. What? Let's go streaking, please.
It's time to go streaking.
We're going streaking! Yeah!
Who is the Nostradamus of MLB? Who can keep the streak going? It's time to go streaking.
What the hell are you doing? We're streaking.
All right, streaking time. Jason Ross.
All right, let's check in on the crew. Dave, you were at 1.
Yeah.
I'm at 0.
Oh.
Chris is at 4, and Anthony was debuting, so he was at 0. So let's see how we did. Okay. Dave, to try to get to 2, you took Freddie Freeman of the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Freddie Freeman.
Yes, they were shut out on Friday. Fred E. Freeman got up 4 times, and Frederick got a hit.
Hey, yes. The E stands for everybody streaking.
Dave is at 2. I'm trying to get to 1. I took the big dumper. Yeah, that's his name. Cal Raleigh.
Oh, you did. That's right.
Yeah, from the Seattle Mariners. No, I said it. He got up 3 times. He didn't homer for me, but he did get a hit.
It's the best nickname.
He has got the most home runs in Major League Baseball. So I'm at 1.
Yeah, right.
Chris, who is the show leader right now with 4-game hitting streak, tried to get to 5. He gave us from the Red Sox, Jarren Duran. And Duran got 3 plate appearances. He got a hit.
Wow, that's
so
too
Chris
bad.
is now at 5. And Anthony, trying to join the crew, took Bryce Harper of the Phillies.
Oh, man.
And Bryce Harper did not play.
In my defense, he was not out when I said it.
Oh, okay.
True.
All right. So it wasn't that they didn't play at all.
No, their team played, but I think I don't know if he went on the injured list or
he was day-to-day when I said it, and I didn't know that.
That day was not his day.
Okay. All right.
So Dave's at 2. I'm at 1. Chris is at 5. Anthony is at 0.
So Anthony just stays with Bryce Harper today, right?
He can.
He can. It's not really
Do they play?
I think he's still day-to-day. I don't even know if they're playing.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah, they do play the Cubs.
Yeah.
But, so Anthony, you can pick whoever you want.
Ooh, that's a good series. Cubs, Phillies. Yeah. Cubs 3 games better than the Phillies. Boyd versus Wheeler today. A couple of 3 ERAs going at it. Ooh. Anyways, so who you is it me or him or what do you want?
Anthony, we'll have Anthony go first.
Okay.
I want Manny Machado.
Let's see.
Is he playing or are you guys checking
they do.
before?
Yeah.
All right.
Dodgers.
I appreciate it.
All right, Machado. Chris has sent his in via text. He's taking Jose Ramirez of the Guardians.
Okay, good for him.
Because he's trying to get to 6.
Yes.
Dave, I'm going to take Jacob Wilson. of the Athletics.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well,
start a series with the Angels.
I'm going to be honest with you. I was 100% going to take Jacob Wilson, which I still could. Plus, but then I saw he's facing Yusei Kikuchi. Kikuchi. So, you know what? You had so much fun. He's
big dumper.
I'm taking the big dumper. Mariners take on the Diamondbacks today. They've got Emerson Hancock pitching for Emerson Hancock
against the big dumper.
That's his pitcher. Oh. They're going against the Diamondbacks. I'm taking the big dumper. I was going to take Wilson versus Kikuchi, and now I'm going to take the big dumper with Hancock behind him. We're going to have some fun. I'm getting a hit.
There you go. Let's go. Let's streak.
The big dumper.
That is a great name.
It really, honestly is.
You think he likes it? It's fun for everyone else.
I think it's one of those things where he's just kind of had to embrace it.
At the A's-Mariners game, I did go to one of those when they were here, and there was a guy near me that was a Mariners fan, and every time he came up, he'd be like, "Let's go, big dumper!" And
it's just...
Sounds weird. Sounds weird hearing it. Probably felt weird saying it.
The big dumper. All right. Well,
a big thumper, big dumper.
Big dumper. Also, there is a Twitter account called No Escalators, just spelled like an escalator.
Okay.
No Escalators. I don't know how far, you have to go back about a day, but I have been enthralled by, they're reposting this content of these two guys that are going to a miniature golf course they're playing it scramble style. Two guys trying to break 30 over 18 holes. And they finally did it on day 52. And dude, let me tell you, it was a ride. It was an emotional roller coaster going through it. I love good content.
Yeah.
This is excellent content. By the way,
escalators.
No escalators. A lot of good skill too. Although I have always wanted to see, I've mentioned this before, like there should be some sort of Olympics that involves weird made up sports. And I think one of them would be going up the down escalator races. That would just be a blast to watch. Just people
with people on the escalator.
Ooh, that could add something. Yeah. Like a slalom or something.
Yeah.
That's a great point. We'll take a break when we come back. Quick 2-minute break. Oops, I did this article, caught Jason's eye. I love this. What makes a winning NBA player? We've got a list of players with the worst all-time winning percentages. There may or may not be a Sacramento King on there. Why don't you guess who it is? We'll talk about it next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here again. Over the years, I've seen way too many timeshare exit companies pop up, take folks' money, and disappear. I just saw an ad from an exit company started by a couple of bozos that used to work for me. My advice, don't hire bozos out fire. Want out of your timeshare? I'll send you our free timeshare exit info kit explaining your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley for your free kit. 800-329-3737. That's 800-329-3737.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the NBA Finals.
In the NBA Finals, any moment can become unforgettable.
Oh, blocked by
Now is your chance to watch the next moment you'll remember forever.
Jordan, open. Chicago with the lead.
Unforgettable awaits.
Anything's possible.
The 2025 NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV continue on ABC.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports, 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on